Wondery Plus subscribers can listen to Crime and Sports early and ad-free right now. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts.
In the depths of an Atlanta forest, a clash between activists and authorities ends in tragedy. I'm Matthew Scher, and on my new podcast, We Came to the Forest, we expose the hidden truths behind a shootout that left one activist dead and countless lives forever changed. Binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest ad-free on Wondery Plus.
Hello, and welcome to Crime and Sports.
Yay!
Oh, yay indeed, Jimmy. Yay indeed. My name is James Petrogallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I am Jimmy Westman.
We are so happy to be here today. We need this. This is good. It's going to be a nice recharge going into a crazy weekend.
Oh, boy.
Of 4 shows and 4 nights in 4 very different places, 4 very far away cities from each other.
With very similar climate, and that's going to be brutal.
Cold, brutal, rainy. It's supposed to be rainy in all these places. So it's going to be fun. This week, by the way, what we're talking about, if you want to go see us live, do a Small Town Murder live, you can do that. Boston this Thursday, the 13th of December. We are in Boston at the Wilbur, and then we are in Chicago on Friday. We are in Detroit. We are in Detroit on Saturday, and we are going to be in Silver Spring, Maryland on Sunday.
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
So come to one of those shows. You know where you can find tickets to that?
ShutUpAndGiveMeMurder.com.
Oh, you know it, Jimmy. ShutUpAndGiveMeMurder.com. You can get all the tickets to your live shows. You can get Crime and Sports and Small Town Murder merchandise, of course. Get your T-shirts and get leggings, ladies and guys, if you want. And the leggings are coming very shortly. Sarah is doing them right now, making the designs on them. So they're going to be available in the next couple of days. So enjoy that. Holy crap, there's leggings.
Yeah.
Also,
as cold as it is in these climates, I will be wearing them.
Oh, we'll be several layers of leggings.
Oh, Jesus.
So, Jesus, that's sad. Also, it's a sorry state of affairs. Jimmy walking around with 7 pairs of leggings on. That's sad. They look like sweatpants because you've made the thickness of them. Other things you can do over at ShutUpAndGiveMeMurder.com. I don't know if there's a link to it, but either way, go over to iTunes, purple icon thing there, Apple Podcasts, whatever it is, and give us a review. 5 stars would be lovely. Thank you very much for everyone who has done that this week. And it doesn't matter what you say. Tell us you're following instructions, following directions. It's not for our egos. It is to move up that silly iTunes chart. And that's all it's for there. And also, and all other things you can do there is you can be one of our producers, one of our wonderful superstar, fantastic friend of the show, amazing people that we're going to talk about a little bit later on. And you can follow those links that they have there over to patreon.com/crimeinsports or over to PayPal and use our email address, which is crimeinsports@gmail.com to make a one-time donation. By the way, last week was a wild episode. We got a lot of feedback on that. More feedback than we usually do from like an unknown person. Yeah. When we do somebody like we do Maurice Claret, everyone's like, oh, I remember this. Holy shit, that's crazy. And we get a lot of feedback, obviously. And the more famous, the more feedback. Because we're ensnaring more of the or whatever. But usually last week people were fascinated by this.
I was fascinated. Crow was a Jesus Christ.
They were just fascinated by what an asshole he was.
What a ride.
That was a crazy ass episode of murder, and it doesn't get caught for years, and he's just like, I'm a good guy now, and too bad I killed a guy a month before I had this renaissance as a human being. Damn, if only I would have just a month earlier.
The amount of people that sent us the records of all of his opponents was staggering. Thank you guys for doing that.
Well, we told you all the records. They were like, how is that possible?
They added them all up and gave us the totals.
The cumulative
there was
records.
like 13 people that did that. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you guys. That's funny as hell and crazy. But tonight we have this guy. When you play asshole or idiot, as we do here, this guy lands 100% on the side of asshole.
Oh boy,
all asshole, baby. He is chock full of asshole. We'll say. Not a lot of idiot here. Well, I mean, what he did was stupid, but it's also evil. So,
Jesus,
good guy here. We have never throughout this whole episode. I'd like you to never utter the phrase "my kind of guy."
Okay,
just don't.
I'll do my best.
You're gonna fucking regret it in an hour, and it's gonna be not cool. You're gonna go, oh, he's not my kind of guy at all. No. Change my mind.
Okay.
It is Michael Brian McBain. Mike McBain.
Oh.
He's a hockey player.
I went to a high school with a kid named Mike McBain.
You're not from... He's from Kimberley, British Columbia.
How old is he?
He's close to our age.
Really?
January 12th, 77 he's born. So he's 3 years older. He's a few years older than you, but still he's from British Columbia.
Okay.
So they never lived in Phoenix that I know of.
Okay.
But born January 12th, 1977, Mike McBain is Kimberley, British Columbia, which we'll talk about here. He grows up, by the way, to be a pretty big guy. He's a defenseman in hockey, by the way. 6'2", 200 pounds in that ballpark. Yeah. So, good sized cat.
Solid.
For the rink, yeah. He's now Kimberley, I looked, it's like very close to Washington State. So it's not like way up in the North Pole or anything like that. This is
on the west side.
This is British Columbia. It's north of Washington State here. From 1917 to 2001, it was the home to the world's largest zinc mine.
Oh.
So that's the kind of joint we're talking about here. It's a hard scrabble place where everybody works at the zinc mine.
Apart from Centrum, what is zinc for?
I am not positive exactly.
Zinc
besides old man vitamins, I'm not sure what you put zinc into. I really am not positive, but they'll mine the shit out of it here.
Banking on Centrum, having some longevity.
The Centrum economy is what they're going for. Like, people are living longer these days. That's going to happen. They're going to need their zinc. We'll dig that shit up to the end of Kingdom Come here. From the Sullivan Mine was the mine that it grew that it was there. Mike has a brother named Jason who also ends up making it to the NHL.
Really?
Yes. Jason, they seem real similar for a while, and then you're like, ooh, they're not similar at all. After a minute, you're like, that's not similar.
The one similar thing they have already is that neither of them want to mine zinc.
I don't think so. Probably not, especially when I tell you what happened to their grandfather while mining zinc. I don't think I don't think they want to mine zinc so much.
There was a zinc catastrophe?
Not a catastrophe, we'll call it, but a slow catastrophe, we'll say. A slow-moving coup here on someone's body. But these two... It's funny, too, that they're like brothers, like Canadian brothers. He said, like, everywhere, when he grew up, there was no cars ever. No one had a car. Like, in the whole town.
They just walked?
It was all pickup trucks.
Oh,
so it's all trucks. There's no cars, Like, later on when they talked to him, he's there and said, there's an interview. What's in your CD player? Because this was like 2004. And he was like, nothing but country. Garth Brooks and this one. And I don't know, country people, but country stuff, he said.
Pickup trucks and country music? You were really pushing for me to say he's my kind of guy.
That's what I'm tempting you, Jimmy. I'm tempting you. He named off a bunch of country people, too. And if I remembered them... You'd probably have already hit you with.
I dig him.
He's my kind of guy. Yeah, pickup trucks, country music. He's just that kind of cat here. Him and his brother growing up running around in the woods, fucking playing hockey when they can. Not in the woods, I assume. It's hard to play hockey with trees around, I assume. Yeah. You need a clearing for hockey, at least.
Unless you want to make like there's people there.
You know what? That would make it more challenging. That's the best way to practice, maybe. Everybody out there, if you can find ice with trees on it, I think that's the way to do it. Because if you can...
with trees on it.
If you can pass between trees and get it in between, you know how they'll get narrow. If you can get there, I feel like you'll really have something.
That's some practice.
You'll know how to shoot angles because you'll need to really have... Yeah, you know what? I could be a hockey coach, I think. I don't know anything about the game.
Plinko hockey.
I could direct this, though, I think. I feel like I couldn't coach down on an ice level, but maybe as like a president of a team or something, I feel like I could distribute this kind of wisdom. In addition to saying, I don't know, just pick the largest, most toothless Russian every year. That's a pretty good way to do it. Who's anybody from a war-torn Eastern European country? I feel like they'd be tough.
The less teeth, the better.
The less teeth. Oh, yeah, because they're willing to mix it up. Yeah. You got to get a guy in there who cares about his smile is not a guy.
Nothing to lose.
No, that's the thing. I don't want that guy on my hockey team unless he's like a crazy goal scorer, obviously. Gretzky, keep your teeth, buddy. Yeah. We need you for the posters.
I'm certain he's missing a few.
I'm sure he's got to be. He's got to be because someone, I'm sure, people go after him, I'm sure, back in the day. But, they don't, they're like, hide that quick. No, you got to replace those. Yeah, if you're a defenseman, they're like, I have 3 teeth missing. It looks great. Scare the shit out of the other team. You look like Jack Lambert playing linebacker for the Steelers back there, scaring the shit out of everybody. Their father, his name is Dale, not Crow. Yeah. Their father and grandfather both basically toiled in the mines. That's it. They were mine people in the Sullivan Mine, mining for zinc their whole lives. And their dad played a little minor league hockey also back in the day, some little minor Canadian junior league hockey stuff. So hockey's kind of in the family.
You said minor Canadian. I realize that's little Canadian guys.
Yeah, not.
I pictured like helmets with lights.
The guys from the zinc miners. I'm on the mining Canadian.
They got a beer league team.
They don't even have hockey helmets. They just have mining helmets with flashlights on them. It's a very entertaining game. They're not real good at ice skating.
I'd watch that shit.
I would too. But they're drunk and they're tough.
And they're slap-shotting with pickaxes.
They don't give a shit. Yeah. I feel like they wouldn't care at all. Yeah, that's
probably slap shooting, but whatever.
Slap shooting, slap shotting.
Whatever. Who gives a shit?
Goddamn shit. Yeah. Fuck, man. So, Jason and Mike, that's Mike's brother, Jason and Mike, father Dale, their grandfather Keith, everybody called Coug for some reason, like the first four letters of cougar.
C-O-U-G?
C-O-U-G, okay. Coug. Yeah. I don't know why. I don't know if I have no idea.
Maybe he hunted a cougar with his helmet and
probably.
His fucking pickaxe.
He just had he went out in the mountains one day, said, I'm going to get that son of a bitch, tracked him.
And fucking slaughtered its whole family.
Left a trail of zinc behind him so he could return. I don't know
what does zinc look like.
I have no idea, but I feel
is it white or black?
I feel like you could leave a trail of it and know where you're going. I feel like it would stand out on the floor. I'm thinking like basically looking like crack rocks, pretty much like a
you gotta assume,
like an off-white rock of some kind.
Almost that crystal that you find in the desert.
Oh, like the shit you buy when you're a kid.
Yeah.
Like, for some reason that they sell when you're 8. You need a crystal for some reason.
Rock.
Look at me, I have a rock with crystals inside of it. Great. Good for you.
Who gives a shit, kid?
Thanks. We all kept that from when we were kids, right? No, we threw that right out. So Coug worked in the mine his whole life and contracted a rare and lethal form of lupus due to all of this zinc mining. Apparently, I don't know if it's rare because not a lot of people work in a zinc mine their entire life.
It's rare because not a lot of people have lupus.
What it is, but yeah, if you combine those two things, where those two meet in the middle of zinc miners and lupus, it's probably a small sliver. But apparently, this decimated him and made the kids not want to work in the zinc mine.
Sure.
And made the dad not want the kids to work in the zinc mine. And, who the fuck wants to work in a zinc mine, basically?
Lupus is bad shit, man.
Lupus is terrible.
Oh, my God.
This is awful shit.
It's vicious.
It's terrible. And apparently this was, from the mine. And he Coug ended up dying in 1988 from this disease. Dying, I think he was like 60 or something, dying pretty young from a disease, nothing natural.
And the sun kind of amplifies it too, so it's good that he's working underground.
I was going to say, is a zinc mine underground?
I don't know.
Or is it like a quarry?
Is it up in the trees?
It could be in the bushes. Is it a hole in the ground? Is it on top of a mountain? What the fuck is it? Do you saw the top off a mountain and just dig it out of the top
maybe it's way up a cougar's ass.
Like Indiana Jones in the Temple of Doom, how they got the monkey brains out? Is that how it works? What is going on?
I don't know.
I don't know what's happening with zinc. I should have done more zinc mining research on this.
There's already two things that not a lot of people know about: lupus and zinc. Both.
And zinc mining.
I dare you
true.
to tell me. Stay out of WebMD and tell me how bad lupus really is. You know that it's debilitating.
You know that it's
horrible,
bad. You
don't know what it does.
Yeah, if a doctor told you had it, you'd be scared. But other than that, I don't think you'd be real upset about it, probably. I got what? Holy shit. That sounds terrible.
Of all the names of diseases, too, it sounds like the weakest, but it's fucking not.
It's got the word loop in it. I mean, so right there, the sound of loop, I feel like it makes it almost fun, like a Fruit Loop.
Right.
It's almost joyous.
Sounds like the name of a wine. It sounds fun.
Then you add the US on it, and then it's like a pus, too. So it's not good. It's like, this is terrible. Lupus is awful.
Jesus.
And it is awful.
It's
terrible shit. People are obviously sick from it, and we apologize for our ignorance. We hope you find it charming, because we just don't know shit about lupus because we're comedians. Right. It's not our job to know about lupus.
Here's the other thing. I don't know anything about lupus, and my aunt died of it. So.
There you go. You're like, oh, she's super sick, huh? Yeah. That was it. Oh, boy.
Boy, that shit sounds bad.
Man, she doesn't look good. Didn't quite ask her what didn't feel good or anything like that. So
she didn't look good. She was a 4'6" woman that weighed like 390 pounds.
Jesus,
she
Jimmy.
looked terrible.
How the hell is that possible?
Oh, I have no fucking idea.
Wow.
She
I'm
was
fascinated
just a giant
this
woman.
Was your aunt?
My stepfather's sister.
Oh, so your step aunt.
And she was in. Thank Christ, those aren't my genes.
I was gonna say.
I mean, the short side
happen to you at some point. You could blow up and shrink down and get lupus.
She'd just sit on a couch and smoke all day. And then when she died, I saw her in her casket, and I'll never forget that sight. It genuinely looked like somebody just like cut the top of Jabba the Hutt off and slammed it in a fucking casket.
Man,
it was
sad.
horrible.
Poor woman. Sucks.
Most tragic thing I've ever seen in my life.
Was she depressed and like?
Oh Christ, she was always depressed.
She had so yeah, that's sad.
She couldn't move because lupus made her not be able to move well.
Oh, that's super
just
sad.
Bad stuff.
Fuck, man, that's terrible. Well, shit.
So before you tell me I'm an asshole for talking shit about lupus and making fun of it, my aunt died of it in the worst way possible.
Not that you
it ruined her.
Not that you really empathized with her or even really knew what she was going through, but you were sad that it was happening.
It was terrible to watch.
It's terrible. I feel bad for that lady.
And she lived in Gallup, New Mexico. Like, she had the most horrible, poor life. I felt
fucking Christ.
So bad for her.
Oh, what's worse?
I don't know. Living there or living there with all that shit.
Lupus and Gallup.
Jesus.
That is awful.
It was a brutal life.
Fucking roll the dice, man. That's just, what's worse? I don't know.
Flip the coin.
There you go. And 2, I guess I'm in.
Crapped out.
Crapped out. I'm in Gallup. Jesus Christ. So he dies in 88, old Coog. So this obviously makes everybody, a little leery of the mines. But the father keeps working in the mine. He has no recourse on it. Sure. Him and his father were both like they would climb 100-foot heights on rope ladders. Like they did crazy shit. These were like fucking men.
Yeah.
These are like the guys that would sit on the beam and eat lunch and not care.
Like they did that
black
for
and white
fun?
picture. No, that was their job.
Oh, okay.
They had climbed 100-foot rope ladders, and then they'd stand on an area they say barely wide enough to hold both feet, and working a 100-pound stopper drill, lit only by a headlamp. So they climb a rope ladder to get to a very small place to drill with a giant implement into a fucking thing. So this is
a tiny bit of zinc
with a headlamp looking for zinc, which I bet they know what zinc looks like. We don't.
A whole day's value worth of zinc.
That sounds crazy.
And every other vitamin fits in a tiny ass pill.
It fits in
How
and
much
it keeps old people alive till they're 110 now.
How much zinc do you need out of there?
Apparently a lot of zinc. Now people are going to be tweeting us how important zinc is, and it's in everything, and it makes phones run, and you wouldn't have the internet without zinc, and your fucking car is made of half zinc, and did you know your body's a quarter zinc? And we're going to get all the zinc tweets. Save it, because I'm going to look zinc up more. I never expected to go on a zinc tangent. I would have prepared for this shit and really had my zinc facts straight, and who invented zinc, and the whole deal.
I think Centrum did.
I think they did. I think they pulled it right from the earth.
Big Central.
Like, just pop this in your mouth, Grandpa. You'll be fine. Hey, Dick's going to be hard by sundown. Don't worry about it.
Big Zinc's going to sue us.
There you go. This and a glass of orange juice. Big Zinc is coming for us. Guys, don't mess with Big Zinc. I'll tell you that right now. So these guys were like hardcore miners too. They weren't just, I don't know what miners are just hanging out, dicking around, but these guys were not. These were like some seriously daredevil kind of miners. As his mother said, quote, Coog took great pride in his work as a miner, as did Dale. It was a status symbol to be a conventional miner and not mechanical, working with big levers and just sitting there. Conventional miners went in there with stoppers on their back with a light and drilled by hand. You were revered and looked up to. So they were like the grunts and they were considered badasses because they were like the special forces of the miners rather than people just doing it with machines.
Doing it by hand.
Yeah, they were like, oh shit, I don't want to climb up that rope ladder and stand there with a fucking, that's crazy. That's crazy. That sounds insanely dangerous.
I don't want to do it at all.
No, not to mention just climbing up the ladder is dangerous and standing there and doing your job is dangerous. And then after a fucking while you get lupus and turn out like your aunt. This is terrible. The whole thing's awful.
This is a terrible death.
It's bad here. When they were kids, the Canadian government sponsored a series, film series, where 10 cities were highlighted in a 15 to 17 minute "This Is My Home" quote unquote movie clip, basically. And Jason McBain, his brother, Mike's brother, was picked to narrate the 6th one, which focused on Kimberly. So the production crew followed Jason around town. They filmed him at school and hockey practice and hanging out with Coog and Dale and Eileen and Mike and other people. So this was Mike's first appearance in public here. It was on I assume some Canadian public broadcasting thing.
Narrating shit.
With his brother narrating it and him hanging out with his brother, which is, the mother says, quote, they picked him because first, his grandfather and father worked in the same mine, and second, because Jason communicated very well when he was young. It was so cool.
Yeah.
Apparently that was the main focus of the film on Eileen, was how the whole town kind of revolves around this fucking mine, and that his family is like, it's almost like your dad works there and your grandfather works there, so it was like, next in line for the mine type of film. It seems like to me. I haven't watched it. It's not available, this film. Very odd that it wouldn't be. Surprised.
You can find that on Amazon?
I'm really surprised. I was willing to pay good money for it, but they it's odd. It sounds super entertaining. A 15-minute film about some kid in a small town in Canada that's going to work in a mine in 10 years.
Where did they release that shit?
I think it was probably like Canadian Public Broadcasting, because Canada, it's all like government-owned stations.
An 18-minute segment, though, they just like load that up with commercials or some shit, or they just do it like run it through?
I'm not sure. Who knows? In the 80s, Canadian Public Broadcasting in the 80s, who the fuck knows what they did? Weird. I have no clue. Outside of Nickelodeon, I don't know what the hell came out of Canada back then.
Was that from Canada?
Nickelodeon was from Canada. Wasn't it? Yeah, I think all that shit was. I think it was based in Canada.
That
Nickelodeon.
Must be news to me.
I thought so.
I don't think I knew that.
Well, it started in Canada.
I know that their cruise was out of Florida. But I can't imagine you got
where are you going to cruise out of Nova Scotia? Bring your parkas, everybody. We're going out of...
I'm very impressed with myself because I almost said Nova Scotia, but then I was like, what if that shit's landlocked? What if that shit's like Toronto? Is that one landlocked?
We're going out of Newfoundland? That's like an island, pretty much, Newfoundland. Remember, we did that on Small Town Murder.
That one's up there near Maine, right?
It's, north of there. Hey, there you go, Jimmy.
Look at me.
I was
God
like,
damn it.
See my face light up? I got real excited just now. I was like, oh, you're learning. I taught you something. I was so excited about it.
God, I'm a dipshit. And I just pulled some knowledge
geography. Well, just geography's not your
I am
strong
terrible
suit.
at that.
Country bands, I would know nothing, and you'd own it.
Off,
you'd
babe.
fucking own it, man. You'd own it. So, Jesus Christ. So apparently staggering costs from healthcare and being sued, and mining is not... Like in the United States, we have laws to where people are basically farm animals and you don't have to protect them at all. And there's laws, but they just fine these companies and then they just pay the fines and they don't give a shit. And then they leave people in the ground to die and they go, oh, safety standards, I guess. And then they lobby against safety standards, and it's cheaper to just lobby and be sued than it is to actually fix your fucking mine to be safe for people to be in. Canada's a little bit different. They actually... I don't know, don't want their citizens to die in the ground. So
they find that it's better to invest knowledge and information in these people and hang on to them rather than keep training a new crop of people that are accident prone.
Yeah, they have a few more rules there, let's just say. And so the costs of running a mine in Canada is a lot higher than it is here. And it forced this company to close the Sullivan mine back in 2001, which is interesting. And it's a beautiful area. There's big mountain, snowy mountains in the distance and shit like that. So they turned it from a zinc mining town into a tourist metropolis. Recreational activities and just, hey, everybody, don't mind that whatever zinc smells like in the air. It's fine. That's only going to linger for the next, 2 centuries or so, but come water ski. That's basically what they're talking about.
It's like Pittsburgh trying to forget that they were a steel city.
Yeah, or Cincinnati forgetting whatever the hell caused that smell that they have. I don't know what caused it, but it's there.
It's still there.
It's fucking not going up anywhere.
Maybe they were a zinc mine. Maybe
that's what it smells like. It was a big zinc mine. That's all it was here. Jesus Christ. So Dale made a transition when the father, Dale, Mike and Jason's father, made a transition from the zinc mine when that closed down. Can't do that anymore. What's an old daredevil zinc miner to do? He gets a job at the Casino of the Rockies in Kimberly as a surveillance, like a security guy. I think he watches, eye in the sky guy, watches people, make sure they're not cheating.
Like Lawrence Fishburne in 21.
Pretty much, he's doing that sort of shit here. The mother here said, or Jason said, quote, he worked hard all day. When he came home, he had to relax. He works so hard.
He used to work hard.
It's that thing that we always say. That means he beat the shit out of everybody. Just him saying that, he worked hard all day. When he came home, he needed to relax. That means once in a while we'd be loud and he beat the shit out of us with a hockey stick, which made me adept at dodging them.
That's incredible.
So, that's what he said. He said, quote, as far as hockey, both of our parents gave it 100% and sacrificed, and we definitely appreciate what they did for us.
That's nice.
I don't know if anybody, like if you live in like Michigan or Minnesota, either you played hockey, your kid played hockey, your brother played hockey, your friends played hockey, you know about hockey. But if you live in warm climates, or even like in New York, not a lot of people played hockey. It just wasn't. I bet in Western New York they probably do, but it wasn't that frozen where I was from.
Male
all the time.
or female, it doesn't change.
Doesn't change. No,
all the same.
No, all the same. So,
which is fascinating. I don't want to sound sexist, but
but I'm going to.
But a woman dressed in a hockey uniform is quite confusing. I will say that.
Well, it's just big pads, and you wouldn't know the difference.
They look very tough and mannish, and it is scary.
It is. There used to be
I don't want to fuck with any woman that ever played hockey.
There's been women that played in the minors in hockey.
Yeah,
goalies
they are tough women, and it is frightening.
They're hockey players, and the women are men or whatever. They're just hockey players. They're tough. Period.
Maybe it's not sexist. Maybe it's just terrifying to me.
Yeah, I think it's you're
confusing
scared.
And scary.
I think it's scary. I think when a woman physically scares you, I think you don't know how to respond to it. It doesn't even feel like you're against it.
No.
You just don't.
I'm for it.
You're figuring out how to respond to it. That's all. That's fine.
I'm
honest.
trying to process what I'm looking at, and I don't know how.
Am I turned on?
Am I supposed to be? Because I might be.
Am I a little horny about this? Or am I scared? I'm not sure. That's the thing. Or is it a little of both? Or am I scared I'm horny? How does this reflect on me?
Maybe I'm afraid that I'm horny and that it's not just that it's a woman. Maybe I'm afraid that I'm horny for Wayne
that
Gretzky.
Anybody in a hockey uniform.
Maybe I'm horny for Bobby Orr. I don't know.
You want to fucking bend over anybody in a hockey uniform? You want to pull that jersey over their head like you're ready to get a major?
I can't tell.
And face fuck them. Hold them by the jersey. Is that what you're looking at, Jimmy?
Why is the word face fuck them is amazing.
I can tell you needed that for some reason, so that's good. These hockey parents, though, this isn't like Little League where you're just like, the kid gets a uniform that you pay $12 for to the league, and then you get him a pair of cleats, you drop him off at the field. Like, hockey is so fucking expensive, number one. It's so expensive.
Fuck yeah.
My friend that played hockey, him and his two brothers played. In their house, they had a room that was their hockey room. Yeah. They had a whole bedroom that was just for hockey equipment.
Just for the gear.
Jesus. Because there's so much of it. It's all so big, and it stinks, too, so you want to keep it away because it gets in the pads and it really
God forbid one of them are a goalie.
Oh, that's terrible.
Just extra shit.
Extra shit to have. Yeah, but I mean, all the sticks, the pads, and gloves, and it's so much shit. Oftentimes you have to like drive for 2 hours to a game or it's such a pain in the ass. It's not like Little League where there's a field over there. Right. It's a rink. It has to be, unless you're in Minnesota or something where they're probably on every street corner. It's a different thing. So people really have to sacrifice for hockey. It's almost like figure skating. It's the same. Anything on ice, it's hard on the parents. It's expensive.
And you're eventually just working to pay the hockey bill.
That's what it is.
That's crazy.
It's crazy, but that's kind of, a lot of people do that. Yeah. It's weird, man. It's not like basketball where it's like, they got one ball, there's 10 of you. Right. Put a tank top on and get the fuck down to the CYO Church League and play for a while. What do you want from me?
But going based sheer on numbers and the amount of teams that there are, it feels like it's easier to make something of yourself playing hockey than any other sport. You know what I mean?
It's odd. I don't know.
There's a shit pile of teams. It's very much like soccer, but much more expensive.
Yeah, I would think that. Yeah, you're not like the whole country isn't really open to, but the whole world is because the Eastern Europe and Finland and Russia and there's tons of players from there. A lot of guys toil in the minors. Yeah. Like you can play in the minors. There's a lot of minor league hockey. I
hate that minor was part of this story. Yeah, because now every time you say that,
you're going to be thinking of a small Canadian with a helmet on. A dirty-faced Canadian child digging into the dirt for...
It's covered in whatever zinc looks like.
Whatever you think zinc... Yeah, looking for whatever you think zinc. I found it holding up a... Who knows?
Yeah, I feel like I could just walk up to somebody and toss them a pebble and be like, it's all zinc. Yeah. Go sell it.
There you go. Hey, I got some zinc for you.
People for zinc.
Now, listen to this story here. Add all this up. Jason says about the father, quote, he worked hard all day. When he came home, he had to relax, which that tells you a lot. Yep. Then Mike says that when he was 3 or 4, Dale a couple of times put his skates on the wrong feet when he was going to play hockey, when he was, Dale was lacing his boots up for him or his skates up for him. But Mike didn't say anything about it. He just skated with his skates on the wrong foot that
Terrified
day.
of Dad.
Because he said, quote, I was too scared to tell him.
Yeah.
But I think that helped me being able to go through adversity. Talk about a positive goddamn spin on it.
How do you...
I was scared to death of my father to tell him that my fucking skates were on the wrong feet. I'd rather hurt myself for hours in the freezing cold because I was afraid my father would, react poorly to me pointing out a mistake of his. But I think that's good for me. I think it's super good for me.
It's taught me to just deal with everybody else's mistakes and make the best of every situation.
Make the best of it, when you're beaten as a child. It's,
feet going the wrong direction.
That's fine. It's fine. It's okay.
Good Lord.
That's rough to put that personality on your kids here. Jason and Mike, I guess they watched Slapshot all the time with their father. That was a big deal. His father played in the Eastern Hockey League in the minors, and I guess the father knew a lot of the guys in it, played with a lot of the guys, because all the guys skating around were all hockey players. Yeah. So he would point out, hey, I know that guy, and tell stories about him and shit like that. So they enjoyed watching Slapshot with their dad. Later on, though, he says that that's more of his dad's type of thing. It's not his favorite movie. He's more into Cinderella Man.
Oh, boy.
So, yeah.
The Russell Crowe movie?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I don't get it.
It's a terrible movie.
He did say that in like 2006, though. So I feel like he was hot from seeing it.
Yeah.
It's like, man, I just saw that recently. It was fucking good, man.
Not being sexist, but it was confusing. I didn't know whether or not to be turned on by Russell Crowe.
It happens. Gladiator, same thing. I had a problem. Jesus Christ. Fuck, man. He's just
so he liked Cinderella Man and not Slapshot, and he played hockey.
Well, Slapshot's because I didn't get Slapshot either. It was
who was it? I don't even.
Paul Newman.
Did I see that? I don't. Oh yeah.
Hanson Brothers and all that shit. I know it's a giant cult following, and people love that goddamn movie, but it was just a little before me to where I was like, I don't know.
It's fine.
The Canadian Strange Brew, same thing. People so into Strange Brew.
Did I see that?
Rick Moranis. And,
probably not.
It's people are so into that, and they're watching it and just going, I don't get it. I don't understand what's happening. Why is this funny?
I like the guys that make Super Troopers in those movies. Those movies are so fucking dumb.
That's Vermont. That's almost Canada. You're getting there.
Okay, all right.
You're getting there.
Yeah.
No, Canada, I don't know what it is. I'm like, 5 minutes in, people are laughing. I'm like, they're Canadian. I get that part. Okay, now what? I don't understand what the joke is. And people are going to be pissed. They love fucking Slapshot and Strange Brew. So fuck off. I don't know what to tell you. I tried. Not my fault.
Was Rick Moranis Canadian?
Fuck yeah, he's super Canadian.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of those guys were Canadian from the 80s. They all came from the TV show that I've watched and I'm blanking out on it now, and it was fucking funny though.
It was right before Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, it had a SCTV. It was SCTV, but didn't they produce it in Canada, or was there a different one in Canada?
I think there may have been another one in Canada.
There was another one in Canada.
John
I know
Candy
there was.
John Candy,
everybody was Moranis, all those guys.
Don't tweet it at us.
Eugene
we already
Levy,
know by now.
Believe me, it'll hit me, and then trust me, I'll go upstairs and ask Sarah, and when we're done with this, and she'll be like, "Idiot!
How do you not know that?
Here, dumb shit." I remember watching it, so I'm really out of it. Right. But the kids here, Josh and Mike, Mike says that he scrubbed golf clubs at a golf course. He said and we'd pick up the range balls when he was about 12 or 13.
Yeah.
He was a basic golf course guy.
Sure.
He said the boss never gave them hard hats, so people would obviously aim at the kids going out to pick up the balls because there's nothing else to aim at. So you're like, oh, target. And I think
they didn't have a cart with a cage around
it? They didn't give them anything. They just sent kids out running out there just going, hold on.
Dodging balls.
And
those hurt.
Yeah, well, between being adept at dodging his dad on ice skates and dodging the balls and shooting pucks between trees, I feel like he's going to be a superstar.
Yeah.
What do you think here?
And also, when you're trying to hit something like that, you're not like lobbing it, fucking line driving it at these kids.
You're fucking drilling it, and you're doing it fast too because you don't want him to get out of this. You're flunking them down. Oh shit! Whack! Come on! Shit! Not even getting like your stand down or anything.
You're just kicking the bucket over them and just drilling them as they roll out.
I'm going to get this fucker with as many as I can. So 1991, around the same time that he's getting golf balls shot at his goddamn head, he plays hockey on a junior B team up there is what they call it. B. It's the Kimberly Dynamiters.
Okay.
I guess that's people mining, I suppose. They have to blow shit up with dynamite to make a hole.
They should just call it the dynamite, not
the dynamite.
Or dynamiters. That's too many syllables.
Dynamiters. It sounds wrong, doesn't it? I don't like that either.
Sounds dumb.
So I don't care for that. So this was based in British Columbia. They were members of the Eddie Mountain Division.
Oh,
listen to this shit. It's the Kootenay, COO, or not even C, KOOTENAY.
Okay.
Conference.
Sounds right.
Kootenay Conference, the Eddie Mountain Division. Is that a man? Eddie Mountain?
Sounds like an 80s
band. Hi, Eddie Mountain here. It's Eddie Money mixed.
Yes, that's who it is.
Eddie Money fucking
mixed
teamed
with
up with some sort of mountain band, and then they came up with that. That's when he changed to, he was a folk singer after a while. He said, you know what, 2 Tickets to Paradise is a little played out. I'm going to put like a Willie Nelson jacket on with some fringe on it and go sit in front of a cabin.
Tonight? Was that him?
That's him too. Yeah, absolutely.
And also, Money? No.
He released. He released a.
I'm trying to think. I know another song. About
he released a banjo album later on under the name Eddie Mountain. Same thing though.
Shake It.
Take
that was
me
him
home
too.
tonight. And it's just a lot of picking.
I said, take me home tonight.
Yeah, you know how that goes. It's kind of like Country Road, Take Me Home, but it's different.
It's a lot of teeth together and no lip movement.
You know how that works, yeah. This team began in 1991, so he was on the inaugural team of the Dynamiters, and they played in the Rocky Mountain Junior Hockey League. This is what this is, the RMJHL. Rocky Mountain Junior Hockey League.
That doesn't go very well.
He is in the Eddie Mountain division of the Kootenay Conference of the Rocky Mountain Junior Hockey League. That is digging deep.
Yeah.
Very, very deep here.
A lot of qualifications for this league.
It's just so many. He's 15 at the in 91, 92 at the end of it, and in 92, obviously. Yeah. He plays 91, 92. He plays in 35 games. He has 25 goals and 62 assists, which
good.
is amazing. It's almost 2 assists a game.
Yeah.
He's basically averaging almost not a hat trick, but almost 3 points a game, which is pretty fucking crazy. 87 points in 35 games. 39 penalty minutes too.
Oh,
so he's a defenseman.
Yeah.
You know, he's got to throw down once in a while and then take some shots at people here.
Sure.
So 92, 93, he's 16 years old, playing for the Kimberley Dynamiters, and he plays in all. It must be a 35 game season because he plays in 35 games again. This time though, he has 0 goals and 4 assists. I don't know what happened. I don't understand why
Did
that
they have
is.
him like as a forward at first, and then they put him as a defenseman?
That's possible.
I was
I'm
thinking
not sure.
that's a lot of goals and assists for a
defenseman. That's a shitload.
Crazy.
But it's a lot of times you'll get like these highly skilled guys in a junior league from any position they'll score and assist a lot. But still, that seems excessive for a defenseman. 48 penalty minutes though, so he was fighting. Yeah. So when he's 17, he goes to 93-94 season to play for the Red Deer Rebels of the Western Hockey League Hockey League. Okay. These are my favorites. By the way, all of these crazy fucking minor league hockey teams. We'll talk about all of them because they're awesome. Yeah. They became the Red Deer. They're in Red Deer, Alberta, Canada. They became the Red Deer Rebels from a Name That Team contest that ran in Red Deer from October 7th to 17th, 1991.
Stop doing this.
I hate when they do that. Stop letting children name your team.
Yeah.
You end up with a purple dinosaur on your jersey when that happens. It's a fucking bad idea.
Or Amarillo with their sod poodles.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus Christ.
It's all the same. You're going to ruin your team. And I get that it's trying to get the community together to unite.
You're trying to get them to be aware they exist and have a stake in them.
Yeah.
And have some sort of stake in it.
Right.
Like, I'm going to be interested. And then you're going to look at the outcome. But get a good team name that they can be proud of first.
Shit, yeah.
And then people will come.
Or something that doesn't make any goddamn sense. Like Celtics. Have you ever seen a Celtic before? I don't even know what the fuck that is.
No,
I get that it's Irish.
I was just saying, it was the easiest way to say, please like us Irish people. We're your team.
We're in Boston.
We'll have very few black guys for as long as possible. I feel like that's what they were saying.
Until we get Big Robert Parrish
We'll get
here.
Bill Russell, and that's fine, but, he's one of them good ones, wink, wink. I feel like that's what Celtic means. Boston we'll be in Boston in 2 days. It's fine now, but Boston was known as quite a racist. It was the south of the East Coast for a fucking long time. The Red Sox didn't have a black player till like 1963 or some shit.
Who called it racist New York?
Somebody, I don't remember. Because I said it's
a comic.
Yeah, it is racist. Yeah, it's a good way to put it. Somebody from Boston, I believe. So it might have been Bill Burr, actually.
Or it was in...
somebody like that.
It may have been either Bill Burr was in that when stand-up stood out.
Yeah, one of those Boston comics, though. Somebody
from
like that. Lenny Clark, maybe, something like that.
But what the fuck's a Laker? Nobody knows.
Well, it's 10,000 Lakes in Minnesota.
Oh, so that's when they moved
the Minneapolis, and they just never changed the name.
All right, well, there you go.
Makes
it doesn't
sense,
make any
actually.
goddamn sense in L.A.
Well, the Utah Jazz, does that make sense?
No, but what is in New Orleans? It sure did.
That made great sense. The Utah Jazz makes no sense whatsoever because Mormon jazz is terrible.
Mormons believe the people that created jazz are cursed, and that's why they're that color.
It's not good. Yeah,
fucking
that's
jerks.
what they used to believe. That's the truth. So the Name That Team contest. They had 3 ideas, the top 3 ideas. This is over 1,000 entries. 1,000. This is what they narrow it down to. They whittle it down. We'll say whittle with these hillbillies up here. They whittle it down to rebels, renegades, or centurions. What were the other 997 fucking suggestions? Douchebags, fucking colostomy sacks. What the fuck? What could have possibly been worse than centurions for a fucking... Jesus Christ.
Somebody suggested the Jazz.
Someone did suggest it, I'm sure. I like them. So on February 5th, 1992, the Rebels selected Mike McBain as their first player in the minor league dick around draft, whatever the fuck. It's called the Bantam draft. I guess you draft players that are too young to draft for other people. It sounds very pedophile-y. I don't know. Or illegal, yeah. They played in Red Deer against the Prince Albert Raiders in the first game they ever played. With the Rebels in 3 years, he has 2 fights 1 year, 4 fights another year, and 1 fight the last year, 95, 96. So he fights less and less, but his penalty minutes are higher. But on all the fight data websites, those are the only fights I could find. But who knows, the only fights I could find, but then again, it's like minor league hockey, so I don't know if they had them all down. But he had 41, 55, and 68 penalty minutes in his 3 years there. So they're escalating. So good for him. He's picking it up. Yeah. He's picking up the pace. He's doing his thing. I'm very happy for him to do that. Getting into that. Get in there and fight, goddammit. So, fucking name that team. Stop doing that.
I hate it.
1995 in the NHL entry draft in 1995, Ottawa Senators have the number 1 pick. They pick Brian Berard, I guess is his name here. And after that are a bunch of guys that I've never heard of. Because some I've heard of. I've heard of Shane Doan is in there at number 7.
Oh, really?
Winnipeg Jets.
Just retired last year or some shit.
That's great. Yeah, he played in Phoenix forever. And after that, see, I'm not good with hockey after post about 1994. I don't know much hockey.
And I'm much earlier. I only watched it for like 2, maybe 3 seasons, and I was like, I can't do it. I don't understand.
I had friends that played it, so I tried, and then in 94, the Rangers won the Cup, so everybody in New York was watching hockey, it was like we watched some hockey, and I kind of knew what was going on, and I had a Sega game, so I knew all the players from the Sega game, and then once those rosters turned over and washed out, I had no other knowledge anymore.
I watched it a couple seasons ago, watching the fucking Kings run, and that was fun to watch for a little bit.
No, that's not bad.
And then I think that's the last. And the Ducks, I watched the Ducks have a good run. I watched the Avalanche win.
The Ducks have a good run.
It seems like
that's right. Colorado stole Quebec.
That's what they did.
Stole the Nordiques. Damn shame that is. Yeah, it's hockey is I think different from the little things I've seen. It looks much different than it used to in terms of it's not.
Well, they passed some rules. That
discouraged fighting.
Yeah, but they passed some rules that got rid of icing, and then I think there's a pass that they can do now.
It's certain line things.
I sound so dumb right now.
It's certain line things.
Right.
You can only pass from line to line,
right.
or this line you can't pass. It's fucking complicated.
They got to stop with all the rules.
You got to get into hockey. You got to know hockey to really get into hockey's. If you watch hockey live, like if you go to a hockey game,
amazing.
You don't even have to know what the fuck is going on. You're just like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
This is so entertaining. It's so fast and it's just amazing. The guys are super fast and athletic and it's great. And then when you watch it on TV, it just looks like men floating around and you're just like, just get the fucking puck, pick it up with your hand and stuff it into the net. I'm sick of watching this fucking game.
That's
it's
legal too, isn't it?
No, you can't pick it up. But you should.
I mean, they pick it up quite a bit.
The goalie does.
No, the other guys do too. They bat it down.
Well, the big about it, though, you can't like grab it and throw it at the goal.
No, you can't do that.
Counts.
I don't think.
It'd be a whole other game at that point.
That's probably legal.
There'd be sidearm pitchers that'd be dominating the NHL, coming in just
Randy Johnson and his ugly face.
They don't even play with a stick. They just come in there whipping that fucking puck out there, throwing a slider with that thing.
Big catcher's mitt, snatching it out of the air.
So, Jesus Christ.
I'd watch that shit.
Not bad.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, right? Jesus Christ. Who wouldn't? That sounds entertaining as fuck. So, looking at this in the first round that year, it looks like there's like 7 players who ended up playing 1,000 games in their career out of the first round. So that's a long-term career. A bunch of guys played 600, 700 games. So that to me seems like decent draft picks if you get that many games out of them, sort of thing here. Now in the second round, it is at number 30 overall. This is number 4 in the second round. Okay. Tampa Bay Lightning select Mike McBain, defenseman here from Red Deer, obviously pulling him right out of the zinc mine and taking him all the way down to Tampa Bay, which is as far away from British Columbia as you could get in the NHL. Wow. Literally, it's just like as far away as possible.
There's nothing south of
all the way to the other side of the country. I know there's another Florida team. I don't know where they play though.
What is that team?
The Florida Panthers.
Oh yeah, I think that's Jacksonville.
They play in Jacksonville?
I think they do.
Why would anyone want to play anything in Jacksonville? I don't understand that. But
I feel like that's true though.
I want
it to be right.
So I would. It's funny for hockey. I would do they picked him and they could have had thing, but I have no idea. I have no idea. I don't know anything. All I do know is that the guy who was picked directly after him by the Edmonton Oilers, Georges Larocque, he played in 695 career games and played until 2010.
And how long did our boy play?
We'll find out. Okay. Not that many. We'll say 10% of that. Shit. So not quite. And this guy had 53 goals and 100 career assists, and our guy did not have that. As we'll talk about.
600 games.
At a 600 games, so which isn't bad, honestly, unless you're a star.
Well, the numbers don't add up in hockey either because they fucking end 1-0.
That's the other thing too. You could go, it's not your fault.
It's fun soccer. That's what that is.
Yeah, it's violent soccer, which is good. That's what you want out of soccer. If soccer was violent, it would be so much more entertaining.
It would.
If you were allowed to clothesline a guy as he was running across, that would make it better.
Or just stop in the middle of the match and just drop him, and
that would be entertaining.
I'd watch that.
Where like the ref picks up the ball and whoever wins the fight gets it.
Right.
Like not like okay, the play continues while you two fight. It's like hold on, you pause play for a moment.
This is over.
Whoever drops first, the other team gets the ball. That'd be a fun way to play soccer.
And he just like hands the ball to the guy and is like, drop it there.
Yeah.
And while that guy's still bleeding on the ground. Like I want that. I want them like kicking it around.
It's like how we used to play basketball in elementary school and middle school. When you just play violent basketball.
Rules, right.
That's what we used to play. I remember the only rule, we've discussed this before, the only rule was, quote, no humping. That was it.
That's going to break out
rule.
In 8th grade.
You can't start humping somebody. That's another. Hey, no humping. But you could fucking check them into a brick wall.
Fuck yeah.
You could fucking clothesline them. You could attack them. You could
take the knees out.
Oh God, you don't want to jump for a layup. You're going down.
Don't you dare.
You are going down.
You stay on the ground.
That was terrible. So.
He's shooting everything like a free throw.
Absolutely. You know it. Just throw it up. It's all hook shots. As your fadeaway hook shots. I was just aggressive, throwing elbows at people. I was a dick.
That was the most inaccurate basketball shot ever.
Fadeaway hook shot, that's not a good one. Unless you're Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, that's not going to work out. There's a reason why one guy's done that really well in a fucking 80 years of the game.
Right.
It's because it's hard. So he continues playing for the Red Deer Rebels here in the beginning. They always do that. They kind of stick with their junior league team after they've been drafted. They want them to stay there, and it's like that's rookie league they don't have to pay for.
Sure.
Basically, is the way they look at it. The teams, I feel like he plays in 68 games in 95-96. 96 with 7 goals, 34 assists, and then 59 games in 96-97 with 14 goals and 35 assists. So he's getting a little bit better, and they're looking at him. And like I said, in 96-97, he's only 20.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's a young kid.
That's amazing.
That's fucking young.
He's already made it.
Yeah, he's 19 and 20. So, I mean, you know, kids are... This is what pisses me off about the Maurice Claret fucking episode. And we talked about the NHL. This kid, did you ever hear the word school
Never.
in this episode?
Not once.
Or did you hear hockey since he was 13?
Right.
Whereas Maurice Claret, he's got to make other people money.
Right.
So he can't go make his own money because hey, hold on.
Yeah.
We got you here for a few more years. You can make our university money before you're allowed to go make somebody another billionaire money.
Pay the
Horseshit.
piper, Mo.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So this is what pisses me off. Hockey, you're just, hey, go ahead. What is he, 12? Sure, sign him up. Who cares? He's not. What is he going to work in the zinc mine? It's either this or the zinc mine. Either way, he doesn't need school. So
Get out
fuck
here
it.
and sell popcorn.
Yeah,
fucker.
that's it. So and then 97, 98 we'll talk about here in a second, where he goes with the Adirondack Red Wings, which was they played in Glens Falls, New York, and they were affiliated with the Detroit Red Wings. They were by the 1990s. The Detroit wanted to move the club away from Glens Falls to somewhere closer to Detroit. Okay. Makes it easier to call guys up and, you know, call them up back and forth. In early 99, the Red Wings announced that they would move the team to Rossford, Iowa, which is near Toledo.
Jesus.
And the Red Wings ended up suspending the operations of the team in 98-99 as part of the agreement to relocate the franchise. Rossford was supposed to build a $48 million entertainment complex with a 12,000-seat arena, and the deal fell apart.
Shit.
Deal ended up falling apart, so the franchise had to just remain dormant for like 3 years, and then it was bought by the ownership group that owns the San Antonio Spurs, and they resurrected this team as the San Antonio Rampage, because if one thing San Antonio needs, it's more hockey, I would say. Whenever you hear about San Antonio, all you ever hear is they're just clamoring for hockey. That's all I've ever heard about them. Just, man, I mean, the Spurs, this is all fine and dandy, but where's up with hockey, man? We're just skating around down here with nothing to watch. Bullshit. So he's with the Tampa Bay Lightning here, and he gets called up finally, and this is 97-98. Okay. So he is 21 years old.
Unbelievable.
Called up from the minors, a Canadian boy's dream. I mean, you're a Canadian kid. This is what you're thinking about, is maybe not playing for Tampa Bay. Right. Probably wanted to play for fucking Montreal or Toronto or something, or
playing hockey in a fucking snowless climate.
You know, one of the old, the original six or something like that. But Tampa Bay's fine. It pays the bills.
It'll do.
He talks
Still
a lot.
in the league.
It's in the league, yeah. And you're getting paid a decent amount. He makes $750,000 this year.
Holy shit!
So yeah, it's a good amount of money. Second round draft pick in hockey. Hockey players do pretty well.
Do they really?
They do pretty. For the fact that nobody's watching it, it's amazing how much money they make.
I'm impressed by that. A second round pick making almost $1 million a year.
The thing that bugs me out in hockey is, like, literally, how many people do you know that are huge hockey fans? Like,
Zero.
How many people do you know that are huge football fans?
Tons.
A ton. Yeah. Baseball?
Tons.
What, basketball?
Tons.
Hockey?
Fucking, I know one dude that loves it.
Yeah. The people that love it.
And I don't even know him well.
That's what I mean. The people that love it are so into it, and they will watch it, and they'll buy shit, and they're really into it. But it's hard to snag a casual fan because it's complicated, and it's a shame too, because it's a great sport. It's a beautiful game, man, and it is a shame. I think more people should give hockey a chance. Yeah. It's hard though, because unless you grow up in a cold climate, you have no sense memory of what they're doing.
You have no childhood indoctrination into it, or like just a bonding growing moment.
Everybody has thrown a baseball and caught it with a glove. Everybody's tried to hit at least a wiffle ball with a bat, so you have an idea of what that is. Right. You know what I mean? Everybody's shot a ball at a hoop. Right. Not a soul on earth hasn't shot a ball at a hoop. Not a soul on earth hasn't taken a football and just thrown it and tried to throw a spiral. Everybody's got an idea of what that is. Even if you watch like fighting, like you've fought, everybody's gotten their cousin in a headlock or been put in one, so you understand what that is. Hockey, you have no idea what it's like to skate fast while slapping a fucking puck. Also
the high schools here, and really a lot of climates don't snow. You know what I mean?
That's the other thing.
And so during the school season, and then in school, every school's got a basketball court. Every school's got a football field. Every school's got a soccer field.
Every neighborhood's got a basketball court.
Never had an ice rink in my school.
No, neither did I. That's the thing. Ice rinks cost money. If you live in a frozen environment, 7 months out of the year, put your skates on and head the fuck down to the pond, kid.
Right.
We don't need to pay for anything. Whereas here, it's if you live in Phoenix. It's never, literally never. You're never on natural ice. You're always going to be in a rink. It costs a lot of money to keep cool, to keep that cold because it's 100 degrees outside. So they go for the rookie party, the rookie dinner. This is, how they do this in the NFL.
They pay for it.
I love this. They sit them down. First of all, they have veteran players come in to talk to rookies in the rookie symposium. And the first thing they tell them, be careful with women. They're going to try to hang you up and, get you paternity suits and all that. They're going to tell them be careful with drugs and what you put in your body because everything will come up on the test. But the thing they talk about the most is be careful with your money. Save your money. Don't fuck around. Don't do extravagant shit. You don't need a fucking big gold chain with diamonds on it. Save that shit for your third contract and blah, 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 blah. So what they make these players do right after that speech is take all the veterans out for an exorbitant dinner that costs them tens of thousands of dollars that they shouldn't be spending on one night's entertainment. That's not even for them.
Remember how we told you not to spend your money? I'll have the fillet.
That's what they do. And they all order the most expensive shit. Like I heard this one in the Jets rookies where guys were ordering like 3 bottles of wine to take home with them. Like, bring me this one. And just taking them home with them. Just fucking the rookies hard. Yeah.
That is shitty.
It's one thing if you have a first-round draft pick quarterback who signed a huge deal. Right. And then it's like, hey, we're going to stick it to you, dude. It doesn't matter because your signing bonus was fucking Sam Bradford when he signed his rookie deal. It was a $30 million signing bonus. Hey, asshole, you're taking us out. You're buying us all bottles of wine. We don't give a fuck if the bill's $100 grand. You can afford it.
He's played
doesn't matter
16 games and he's made $130 million
so
or something.
Much fucking money.
It's absurd.
But when you get like second round draft picks who are making like $350 for the year, like after taxes and agent and give some to your mom and pay, like you're like, wow, this is kind of
$60 grand.
Yeah, this is kind of like I have a car payment I got to make. This is kind of tough here. They went to Vancouver. In Vancouver, they went to Joe Forte's, or I don't know how you pronounce it, Joe Forte's restaurant. And Mike says, quote, I think we spent $17,000 on dinner.
What?
The rookies themselves. And the rookies had to pay for it. He said, we had a good time. The beer was flowing. The cigars were being smoked. Good food was eaten. Lots of wine. Everyone goes through that as a rookie. He thinks his portion was about $4,600 or something. Wow. There was 4 rookies in all. So
that's too much.
That's too much. The football team is worse. Like I said, the Jets book, it's Collision Low Crossers, it's called. This reporter was with the Jets for the whole 2011 season. Like, basically the coaches made him like a shadow coach. Beautiful. He just hung out with them. It's very fucking interesting. Yeah. But they talk about this, the rookie dinner they took these rookies out to, and they were paying $25 grand a pop for this dinner.
That's so stupid.
It was so fucking crazy. And the guys weren't even, some guys on the team came in, got like 3 bottles of wine to go and left. They didn't even eat fucking dinner. They just were raping these rookies' wallets. And then some of them though, like one of the guys they were talking about was like a 4th round draft pick, and he did not have a lot of money, and he was real fucking scared about the whole thing. And some veteran gave him like a bunch back.
That's nice.
Like he dropped him like 5 G's back. Really nice. Hey, dude, fucking I know that hurt you.
Shit, yeah.
Here, take that. So, but that's tough, man. $4,600 to your first night in the league. It's like whoa, hit you hard. So if he went and spent that at the strip club, they would say he's an idiot.
Yeah, but instead you're buying all the veterans their dinner, and he's a hero.
And they can all afford it. That's the other thing. They all make better money than you probably. So anyway, 97, 98, 21 years old, playing for the Tampa Bay Lightning, which I assume is what you want to do in hockey, play for a pro team. Not that the others weren't pros, but this is the big time. He plays in 27 games that year. So good for him.
How many are in a hockey season? Is it 80
I think it's 80, 82.
It's a lot.
81.
I know it's a lot.
81 or 82. It's the same as basketball. Basketball's 82, but hockey is it 81?
It might be
for
80.
some reason. It's got to be 82 because then it's 41 home and 41 away. It can't be an odd number.
There you go.
So it's 82, I think. Okay. Either way, he's well, there you go. Their record that year, 17-55-10, 82 fucking
got
games.
it.
So there we go. 17-55-10. By the way, the Tampa Bay Lightning is terrible that year. Coached by Terry Crisp. I don't know.
Is that their opening season too, though?
I don't think that's their inaugural.
Their inaugural was fairly recent.
94, 93, somewhere in there.
I know they were bad for a long fucking time.
They were a Florida hockey team. Yeah. 17-55-10 is not wonderful at all. Like I said, under a couple of different coaches here because people got fired, obviously, here. It's not terrific. They had 151 goals for, which is last in the league, 26th
Wow.
of 26, and 269 goals against.
Yeah, that's not good.
No, that's a bad ratio. That's a terrible, terrible ratio there. But 0 goals in 27 games played for our guy here, Mike McBain, and 1 assist for him. So a total of 1 point, 8 penalty minutes, 17 shots on goal total. So
Really just doing nothing out there.
probably not playing a lot of minutes. Probably just getting him up, acclimating him. Probably just putting him in, third line or something, sticking him in there, let him skate around a little bit when guys are getting a breath.
Got it.
I would assume he's not a starter or anything like that. So 98-99 season, not much better for the team. 19-54-9. So
Almost identical.
fuck yeah, that's miserable.
ugly.
That is miserable. And goal, same shit too. Goals for 27th of 27, 179. Goals against 292, 27th of 27, dead last,
God.
and dead last in goals for and goals against. So are you good offensively? No, we're the worst in the league. Well, you must be a good defensive team though. Actually, worst in the league.
Yeah.
We are just the worst at everything. We're not good at this at all. Awful. Just terrible at everything we do.
How bad must it be to be a Tampa Bay fan of anything? Granted,
to
the
feel like
Lightning
shit.
won once and the Rays have
Yeah.
won once too, right?
Did they
No,
win?
they don't think they
Yeah,
won,
they
but
fucking hate
they've
the
had some
Rays.
runs.
Yeah.
It is brutal to be a Tampa Bay sports fan.
It is. They got the Bucks.
Yeah.
They won. They
I
won the
mean,
Super Bowl.
once.
They beat the shit out of the Raiders. That was good times. Those were good times. Of course,
Brad Johnson?
you had to have you had to have that whole Warren Sapp and all the
Yeah.
work done.
Ugh.
You had to have the whole leading up to that.
Yeah.
When they went like 19 games straight without winning one in their first, or was it 0-26? They went in their first 26 games or
God,
some shit
Jesus.
like that. It was pathetic.
It's
the
a
first
tough
couple years.
city to be a sports fan. How do they have 3?
Nice weather.
I don't know.
It's just nice weather. I think there's a lot of.
Fuck.
I don't know. I don't know what goes on down there. to
I've
cause
been
that.
there. I've been to
Yeah,
Tampa,
me
St.
too.
Pete, Clearwater. It's a nice area, but
It's fine.
It's
My grandmother would retire. She would go down there in the winter.
Right.
And that's.
It's very
they were old.
elderly. Why? How are
Yeah.
they selling enough tickets to keep these teams?
I don't know. There's a lot of people from the East Coast too
It
that go
seems
down
like
there.
it's owned by somebody that's just got to take a loss. It's got to be, right?
That or they're.
What the fuck else would it be?
They have TV deals. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not sure how the hockey economy works. I'm very ignorant to the hockey economy.
The whole Florida armpit economy I want to know about.
I don't know how any of those teams outside of like the Dolphins and the Heat survive.
Yeah,
pretty
that's
much.
Miami. That's
Yeah,
not
that's
fucking
what I mean.
Tampa.
That's not Tampa. That's what I'm saying. Outside of there, I'm
Tampa is shit.
shrugging my shoulders. I'm curious about. Ever since Shaq left, I've been waiting for the Magic to move. It's got to happen at some point here. The fuck no? Who wants to go to Orlando?
I don't even know who they have
Hey,
anymore. Tracy McGrady's gone.
By the way, we'll be in West Palm Beach at the West Palm Improv on February 21st doing live Small Town Murder. If you want to,
Come on
tickets
down.
available now. So check us out there because we love Florida,
We do.
obviously. 98-99, like we said, a god-awful team. And he plays in 37 games this year, played in 27 his first year. 0 goals, 6 assists now. So, hey, look at you. Went
Yeah.
from 1 assist to 6 assists. He has 14 penalty minutes, 22 shots on goal. So he's, I guess slightly improving, not playing a lot, which is minute-wise.
That'll hinder your ability to score some points.
That's the problem, and Tampa Bay kind of gives up on him here, and he never plays in the NHL again.
That's it.
That's his NHL. I'm going to go ahead and say it right now. Grace. This is grace. The last game of his hockey career is grace.
Oh my God.
He feels so good about himself, and that's it. Definitely this is going to be grace here because at that point he's done, and we have an in their own words on his reflection in hockey, let's just call it, his how he feels and what he should have done differently.
Okay.
Let's see here. In their own words, quote, "I wish I had slowed down and taken more of it in. I was young and you're kind of awestruck getting paid a lot of money and playing with guys you watched as a little kid. I wish I had been maybe 29, able to stop, look around and see the situation I was in." Which I think a lot of people would say,
About anything.
We always say we say this all the time to each other that we're so happy that we didn't do these podcasts.
Yeah.
And like we're so happy we're not like 22 years old and doing this, because we would have no fucking idea how
lucky this is.
And we wouldn't know how to deal with it or handle it, or we'd be a disaster. We'd be a mess. You'd be sending people dick pics. It would be a fucking all over the place. All over the place. It'd be a fucking disaster.
I was a monster when I was that age.
So we're very, very happy. So I understand that at that age it's difficult, and so that's his reflection looking back. 1998, 1999. Now after in the NHL, and he doesn't know he's done in the NHL. He doesn't
even know. Oh,
well, you don't know. You're going back down to the minors. You think you might come back up. He's like 21, 22 years old at this point. So you don't think, well, I'm ready to cash it in and, start a carpeting business and go back to, maybe I'll work in the zinc mine for a while. Like, it's not what you're thinking, probably. He plays for the Cleveland Lumberjacks, who have a terrible logo of it looks like a badger or a beaver or something like that with a sneer on his face and an axe in his hand. Like it's really weird. It's like a hockey stick axe.
Right.
It's very weird here. They formerly were the Muskegon Zephyrs, but they realized that was an awful name. So they
Muskegon already is just a fucked up word.
Yeah. Then they named them the Mohawks because they figured the Zephyrs were terrible.
Not racist.
No. And then they went to the Lumberjacks after that. And they just did that here. Ended up moving to Cleveland in 1992. Here, he plays there. He plays in 81 games for them. This is the IHL, International Hockey League. 22 goals, 21 assists. So not too shabby.
He's great in the
64 penalty minutes.
Yeah.
He's what they call in baseball a 4A guy.
Yeah.
That's what Rod told me that. The 4A guys are the guys who are really good AAA players, but not good enough to play in the majors.
There you go.
They keep bringing him up and down because it's like, oh, look at him. He's hitting 310 down there, and he comes up and hits 220 in the majors. It's just 4A guys, they call them. So November 26th, 1999, he's traded by Tampa. So Tampa's just given up on him, clearly. They trade him to Montreal. So he must be happy about that. He's feeling like, oh, fuck, I got traded to the goddamn Canadians. Yeah. This is a real team. This is an original six here. Not fucking around. He gets traded for Gordie Dwyer.
I don't know who that is.
Who sounds like a hockey player.
Yeah, he does.
Gordie Dwyer sounds, that's a hockey player. Like, you can't even fucking, there's no doubt about that, who that is here. Gordie Dwyer ended up playing 78 total games in the NHL. He would end up playing until 2004. Actually, he ended up playing for Tampa Bay, and then he ended up going back to Montreal a little bit later on. In his career, 0 goals, 4 assists for him, but a lot of penalty minutes. In 99-2000, he had 135 penalty minutes for Tampa in 24 games.
He piled them up.
Yeah, that was the year they traded for him, and I guess if they needed somebody to go out there and take the minutes, that's the guy, because in 24 games, he had 135 minutes. That's just, you get out there, you fight, and you skate over to the penalty box, wait to get out.
It's almost 7 minutes a game.
Go back and fight. That's a lot of...
a whole lot.
It's a lot of minutes there. 99, 2000, and 2000 and 2001 seasons, both he plays for the Detroit Vipers here. The Vipers, where I love where these teams come from and go, were originally the Salt Lake Golden Eagles, which again,
I like that.
That's a one thing Utah needs, more hockey.
Yeah,
I guess. I don't know. In 1994, it was purchased by Palace Sports and Entertainment, who own the Pistons and the stadium they play in, the arena they play in. They relocated them to Detroit after for the 94-95 season. They had a Jesus Christ, this is worse than a name that team contest. They had a promotional deal, a sponsorship deal with the Chrysler Corporation, which led to the team being changed to the Vipers after
the Dodge Viper.
The car.
Wow.
Yeah. That is exactly right.
That is embarrassing.
That is seriously bad. And a similar deal was in place with another team, the Continental Indoor Soccer League, was owned by the same group, Palace Sports. They changed the name of their team to the Detroit Neon.
Oh, no.
Like a Dodge Neon.
Oh, my God. That's embarrassing.
Is the most embarrassing fucking thing.
And where was this at? Detroit?
I've ever heard. That's Detroit. Until I heard this. It was the most embarrassing thing.
The Detroit LeBarons?
No, but it's worse. It's a worse car. Okay. They changed the name from the Neon later on to the Detroit Safari.
Oh, no.
After that piece of shit GMC Safari. So even fucking worse. They might as well call themselves the Pontiac Aztecs. What the fuck are you people doing? What is wrong with you? How are you going to get a fan base
Unbelievable.
if your whole team is just you keep naming it after terrible fucking cars? Awful.
Like
I know.
the worst one. Like the Viper's a great
That's
car.
A great
it's just
car.
a douchey car.
And I get it in Detroit. They make those cars, but they're still not like that. Neon's a great car. None of them are like. I think whoever would make it be like, don't buy one of those. Let me tell you something.
That car's a goddamn punchline. It's like the Reliant K.
I'm surprised it gets to the dealership once we're done with it. I'm surprised it doesn't fall apart getting loaded on the truck. Thing's a piece of crap. It's not our fault. It's just a piece of crap car. He also plays for the Quebec Citadels.
It's another car.
Another car.
It's a fucking. I believe that's a. You know what it is? It's the Chrysler version of the Dodge Durango. That's what the Citadel
Oh, okay.
is.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. No, they used to have the Citadel was like one of those old cop-looking cars. That's like a sedan.
No, that's not a Citadel. That's something else. I know what you're thinking, though.
I
just can't think
in
of
the
it.
70s and 80s. I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's
80s,
not the Continental. It's the goddamn Sentinel. Is it the Sentinel?
No, it's a different. That's a Grand Theft Auto car.
Oh, okay.
That's not a real car. That's in Grand Theft Auto 5. They have a Sentinel and 4. It's a pretty good car, actually. If you gas it, it's juiced. You can bring it to the shop, and if you hook it up, it's pretty good, actually.
I know
Sentinel.
what you're
it's not
thinking.
bad.
I know I've seen the goddamn car.
Yeah, there's something. I don't know what the hell it is. It's a lot of we don't know what we're talking about. We don't know about zinc. We don't know what cars we're talking about.
I can
Guys,
see it.
We're going on the road for a hell week this week, so we're just trying to get through it and not lose our minds here. So sorry if we don't know about zinc.
Caprice?
No, I'm thinking of a goddamn. We'll look it up afterwards because now I need to know if there was a Citadel at all here. They played there. Citadels were Montreal Canadiens minor league team. Obviously, they ended up being merged into the Hamilton Bulldogs later on. After that, he plays for the Chicago Wolves of the international.
I've never heard of them.
You just reacted. Ooh, I don't know. It sounds like not the Wolves. You acted like the Wolves gave your Aunt Lupus. Not the Wolves. They gave my Aunt Lupus. She played for them.
Here's how
this is my first time. Didn't know if I was horny or scared. And I saw my lupus riddled aunt coming at me in a hockey uniform.
Remember when Arizona had the fucking Roadrunners? That's what I see.
Oh, the Phoenix Roadrunners.
It was just a goddamn joke punchline team.
Yeah, the Phoenix Road. I do remember that. And the Phoenix
Firebirds, the baseball team.
That was the Giants minor league team.
Was it? That was
the Giants AAA. Yeah, a lot of major leaguers out of that.
Goddamn joke too.
But I mean, a lot of major Giants shit. I mean, Barry Bonds played for. No, he didn't. No, because he got free agent over there. But Matt Williams played for them. And
did he really?
Like, fuck yeah, yeah. Rod was on the same team.
Reggie Jackson played for the Firebirds.
No, Reggie Jackson played for the
Giants. Right. I thought
Reggie Jackson played for the ASU. College team.
Right.
He didn't play out here.
He didn't play for the Giants, did he?
No. He played for Oakland. He played for Anaheim and Oakland and the Yankees. Right. And
I'm like, wait, what?
No. I don't think I mentioned Reggie Jackson, did I?
I think you just said Reggie Jackson.
Maybe I did. I'm exhausted.
I was
Who
like,
knows?
wait, did he play for the Firebirds?
No, I was thinking of Barry Bonds. Another Hall of Fame worthy home run hitter from ASU. Same fucking, I don't know.
But not the Firebirds.
Okay. No. But I know that was in the 80s and 90s. That was the Giants AAA. So,
really?
I mean, Rod played for them before he played for the Giants.
I don't think I knew that.
Yeah, he told me about that. And he played with Matt Williams and guys like that. Yeah, down there.
Because I'd been to a few of their games and I was like, this is fucking pathetic. There's like 13 people here.
Well, it's 118 degrees outside. Yeah. Outdoor minor league baseball is not a good sell in Phoenix. I always wondered how that would survive. I love to watch baseball, and I'm not going and sitting in the heat to watch it like that. It's hot here in the summer. I can't explain to you people who don't understand how fucking hot it is here in the summer. You think, well, that's at night. Yeah. It doesn't matter. No. At night, it's just as hot. The ground releases the heat then, and it makes it hotter from first it comes from the top, and then it comes from the bottom. It's horrible.
It's 105 degrees at 2 a.m.
And it happens. Horrible. Yeah, I'm not watching a minor league baseball in those conditions. Sorry.
Think about how cold it is in Canada right now. That's how hot it is here in August.
Opposite. So, he plays 13 games with the Wolves, 0 goals, 1 assist, 2 penalty minutes. So I don't know what that is. The Chicago Wolves, obviously, they played in Rosemont out there, a suburb of Chicago, and they eventually, now they're a minor league affiliate of the Vegas Golden Knights out there.
Really?
So, yes. 2001, 2002, he goes to England to play hockey. Goes to play for the Bracknell Bees in Berkshire, UK. They complete the league they're in is the National Ice Hockey League. So it's kind of a knockoff, I guess.
Throw an I in there?
Yeah, NIHL, I guess it would be. I'll tell you about them in a second here. This fucking team is hilarious. Another disaster here. You wouldn't think. I didn't know English people played hockey at all, or if I don't know if they cared about hockey, if that got there or not. But apparently they try. Now, in 2001, 2002, he plays in 45 games, 4 goals, 16 assists, 36 penalty minutes. And 2002, 2003, he plays in 32 games, 3 goals, 10 assists, 38 penalty minutes. So pretty consistently doing pretty much the same thing. Now, in 2007, the owners walked away from this team. They said, we don't fucking want this team anymore. They basically abandoned it like a building whose plumbing and electricity has gone to shit. They just walked away from it. So a fan of the team named Katie Eleftheru and the supporters club chairman, the chairman of the supporters club, like the fan club, a guy named Stuart Robinson, formed the Bees Ice Management Limited to take over the operating license and came up with a rescue plan to see the club through the end of the season if the fans were willing to help through pledging donations. It's a fucking professional hockey team, not a podcast. What the hell is going on here? You can't fucking crowdsource a professional sports team. I'm sorry, you can't do that. I think that's great that they did it, but give me a fucking break.
That
man.
is amazing.
It's incredible. They saved the team. It was like a bad television show that got canceled, and they're like, "No, bring it back."
Jerry Lewis with his telethon to save the team.
Holy shit! That's what they did, man. They did it, and the club successfully completed that season, and then they ended up going on to more seasons after that.
Wow.
So they saved the team, found another ownership group or whatever, and that was that. So they saved the team by...
That is the whitest electric boogaloo ever.
Everybody pitch in. Yeah. They're going to close down the ice rink, the community ice rink that all the skilled hockey players are playing on.
It's the most big city turbo and ozone ever.
It totally is.
That's incredible.
Totally. So 2003 through 2008 now, he goes to Las Vegas to play for the Las Vegas Wranglers, a minor league team there. It's in the East Coast Hockey League, the ECHL. This is where he wants to go kind of settle down a little bit. By the way, his brother played in 95, 96 for the Hartford Whalers. He played one season, only played in like 8 games or something.
That's it.
And then went back down to the minors too. So they're both, marginal, edge kind of fringe guys here. Now the Vegas Wranglers here, which again, if I think of a city that needs more hockey, it's Vegas. So, but they're the Golden whatever the fucks
Golden Knights
they're
are
doing well out
yeah.
there. Yeah, they're doing fine.
They made a run. Did they win? I don't know if they won.
No, they won. I saw they won a game tonight. I don't know.
But did they? Who won last year? Because they were like near the finals or some shit, weren't they? Or whatever. What do they call that? Stanley Cup. Sorry.
It's probably the fucking Lord shitbags Frenchman fucking tournament. I don't know. I do like when hockey used to have the different names. Before it was just like North, East, West, South. It was like the Smythe and the Norse and the
really.
Yeah, those are the names of the divisions.
Oh Jesus!
It was weird. So they had like all these different. I thought that was kind of cool. It set them apart, but it made casual fans go, "What the fuck does that mean?" I think, "What is that?" And they just went, "We got to do like East, West, South, North. This is crazy. No one knows what's happening."
World of Warcraft.
Yeah, no one knows. We got some Middle Earth shit going on here, and I feel like this is a problem for casual fans, because that's what it seems like they've tried to do. They tried to cut down on fighting, increase scoring, and sort of make it more mainstream and palatable as far as, even that, changing division names, doing things like that, just trying to make it so people who aren't ingrained and indoctrinated from an early age into hockey can still watch hockey. Sure. Now, 2013, the Orleans Hotel and Casino notified the team that it would not renew their lease for the following season. That's where they played. And so this prompts the franchise they look for a new venue. They announced plans that they're going to build a 3,500 seat facility at the Plaza Hotel and Casino in downtown Vegas. I guess Old Strip down there in that shithole. However,
the Orleans ain't much better.
No, the Orleans sucks too. You don't want to be there.
It's a piece of
That's
shit.
in that weird middle ground. It's no good. However, they end up announcing they wouldn't move to the plaza because they had an idea that they were going to build a rink on the rooftop was their stadium. And then after they actually did like engineering shit, they go, yeah, you can't do that. It's going to fall over and everyone's going to die. And they went, fuck. God damn it.
Well, the Stratosphere's got fucking roller coasters.
Come on.
You can't have an ice.
You can't get 3,500 people in there and some hockey players? What are we talking about here? Come on. Just fucking get it up there. This is Vegas. Anything's possible. What if I comped you our best room? Then is it an engineering possibility? How about that? Do the physics change if I say give you 500 in chips for the blackjack tables?
What if I promise you at halftime a white tiger will eat a man
What
every
about that?
game?
How about that? And a prostitute. What if I had all of those things for you?
Halftime. I think it's intermission with hockey, right?
Because there's 20.
Right.
There's 2 of them. It's a 20-minute intermission.
Well, there's 3, aren't there? Isn't there 3 quarters?
There's 3
Or
periods,
3/3?
but there's
Right.
2 breaks
There you
between
go.
the first and
Gotcha.
the second, and the second and the third. Because after the third, it's a break too, but it's
Right.
as long as they want.
The end.
Till the next game, really. They could just take as long as they do whatever they want at that point.
You were saying two intermissions. I thought you meant 2 periods.
Oh no! Yeah,
So
no,
we
2
just
intermissions.
went.
We crossed
we
over
were
on
crossed.
that. We were crossed. So then they, as an alternative, they wanted to build an arena in the plaza's parking lot, and they found out that was too expensive.
And probably illegal.
So yeah, they couldn't do it. So they ended up receiving a voluntary suspension of operations for the 2014-2015 season, seeking a permanent home. Obviously, they were going to come back. On January 30th, 2015, they announced via Facebook that the Wranglers would cease operations after not being able to find a suitable home within a reasonable time frame to submit to the board of whatever the fuck. And then in 2016, obviously, Vegas was awarded the NHL team, and now there's no need for this team
Wranglers
whatsoever.
Fuck out of here.
No need for them. Now, 2003, though, is when both Jason and Mike sign with the team. They both sign with Las Vegas.
Okay.
I guess Jason lives there. He has 4 kids and he's married and all that shit. Jason does. So he is like, he's older than Mike and he's more settled in. So, Mike's like, oh, I'll just move where my brother is. And that's kind of what they do here. I guess Jason, played for the Las Vegas Thunder of the IHL and, in 98, 99. And he had bought a home out there then and just kind of made that his home base. I guess he liked Vegas. And, he said, quote, this is when they first got there, 2003. Quote, a few months ago, I relocated to the north end of town and Mike moved in. Jason says, I have 3 kids, 4 with him living with me. About Mike. Mike said, but I'm the built-in babysitter.
Yeah.
And that's his excuse. Like, hey, I'm fun uncle guy that, built-in babysitter. Then Mike ends up buying a home of his own, which is like right down the street from Jason, obviously. It's like on the same street. And Mike says, once I move in, I'll get out of his hair, but I'll still be babysitting all the time. So, that they're whatever. They found the mini Canada down here, their own little Kimberly.
Yeah.
My own private
Snow.
Kimberly. Yeah, with no snow.
Lake
and
Mead never freezes over.
No. The hockey is a little harder there. They said they're both kind of they know their NHL career's over at this point. I mean, once you're out of the league for 6 years, I think it's
a little tough to make a comeback.
You played in England, and for a team that was fan sourced, I think you're kind of like, I'm not going to. The Penguins probably aren't going to call me anytime soon. I don't think I'll be playing for the Blackhawks tomorrow. It's not going to happen here. So they said that they wanted stability. They were looking for stability. They wanted to play. They don't want to bounce from minor league team to minor league team every 2 years. They wanted to stay in Vegas. They both told the team, we want to stay here for a long time. We want to be here. We're not trying to move up or down. We just want to have a thing here, basically, and have some stability and have some family and be able to have kids and settle down.
Okay.
Which, who the fuck wouldn't? That seems normal. To move every year, bouncing around from England to Montreal to
that life's crazy,
to Detroit to Cleveland, it's nuts.
And tomorrow there's no guarantee.
That's the other thing. You could be in the zinc mine tomorrow. Right. You have no fucking idea. Whatever. Now, Mike said when he was going to play for Las Vegas, quote, I'm looking forward to being here and just having fun, getting back to the basics of hockey and not worrying every day if he'll get traded or sent down.
There you go.
We're just going to go out and play the game the way it's supposed to be played. Just going out to have fun. 2003, 2004, Mike plays in 72 games for them, 5 goals, 20 assists, 95 penalty minutes.
Yeah.
That's not bad, too. Having a good time.
Doing it.
Decent numbers. 2004, 2005. He plays in 60 games, has 2 goals, 13 assists, 65 penalty minutes. 2005, 2006, 68 games, 2 goals, 23 assists. Not bad. 59 penalty minutes. 2006, 2007, 56 goals, 56 games, 2 goals, 7 assists. 56 goals all of a sudden would be amazing.
Yeah.
If he went from 2 every year to 56,
like, what the shit is
that
happening?
would be impressive.
Yeah.
He fucking took steroids and I don't even know what else.
Maybe the Penguins will be calling.
If he had 56 goals, probably. Like, what the hell's going on there?
That guy?
Jesus Christ, what's up there? 45 penalty minutes. And that's when he kind of officially sort of retires. 2006, 2007. 2007, 2008, he's kind of like an intern coach, kind of. But he also he ends up playing in 2 games that year because there were some injuries. I guess they were supposed to play Idaho one game, and they had a lot of injuries, and guys got called up to different leagues, so they were kind of stuck. So the coach said that told him that he'd need him. So he hadn't skated in a while.
Suit up.
Yeah, he said, suit up, buddy. He was like, okay. So he played like 19 minutes or whatever.
Playing all of Idaho.
Yeah, we're playing everybody. And going into that, though, he had 598 games played, too, total. So this gets him all the way to 600 games played also, which apparently was a big thing because the coach told him he's going to need him the next night, too. So he ends up having to play back-to-back nights.
Wow.
Which for guys who are used to playing isn't easy.
But being that old and that out of the league for that long.
It's out of the league for that long. He's 30 years old, so he's not that old. But there's plenty of guys that are 30 in the NHL. But if you're not used to, if you haven't played that year and got your legs under you to play 2 games in a row, so he said he went to his daughter's play, piano recital, and then went over to the Orleans there, and he was late. Basically, threw his uniform on and fucking went out during the national anthem. And all of that. He said he needed some oxygen.
Yeah.
After he was going, he said, "quote Thank God, Coach could see I was tired. I'm glad I could help the team. I had to run in the Las Vegas Marathon. Apparently, after the game, he had to. The next morning, he had to run in the Las Vegas Marathon.
Jesus.
It's like, so I was hurting, you know, as I would imagine. He runs a half marathon on 2 hours of sleep, basically.
Nope.
That sounds fucking terrible.
Sounds like this weekend.
He said, quote, "It was 3 days of hell for me, but it was worth it." But at least he had to do that all in the same city. Yeah. He didn't have to do that in Boston, Chicago, Detroit, and Baltimore in 4 fucking straight days like a maniac. He said, 3 days of hell for me. It was worth it. I definitely felt it for the next 4 days, especially after that 13-mile run. 2 hockey games and a marathon sounds like a little bit too fucking much here. For me, anyway. I'm not doing that shit ever. Never. I guess his whole problem is he has a bulging disc that really bothers him. Oh, no. And that's his problem. It makes he's very uncomfortable doing anything, and that's too much for hockey. So it wasn't worth it anymore.
Fuck your life up.
Yeah, especially in hockey is very twisty and turn. I mean, just to stay up on skates, you got to have a lot of. It's a lot of muscles. Yeah. In basketball or football or baseball, you can just stand there. In hockey, even just to stand there on the skates takes some form of
core.
Yeah, it takes some core and some leg strength and some a lot of shit, some ankles that aren't snapping,
some wherewithal and balance.
Yeah,
for sure.
Also balance, that sort of thing. So after that, he becomes a coach. After this, a coach for the team. He said that he was interested in that a lot. He said, quote, but he felt good after those 2 games, though. He said it made him feel like not like such shit again. Like he felt like before, he said he felt like he couldn't go out there anymore, and that made him feel kind of depressed. And the fact that he went out there and didn't make a complete fool of himself for a couple days, I was like, hey, he still got it. Walked away with a little swagger. Yeah. He's like an older guy who somehow banged some 20-year-old broad, and he's like, I don't know how that happened, but I still got it. You know what I mean? Hey, look at that. He's got some kind of swagger to him.
God, that sounds terrible.
Hey, yeah, it was gross, too. It was super gross. He's hairy. Yeah. She has some weird daddy complex thing where she likes old guys because of, her father was unavailable, and then he took advantage of that, kind of knowing it, too, being real sleazy about it. And
while he was inside her, he was thinking the whole thing, I shouldn't be doing this, and the only reason I am is because she's fucked up.
And she was nauseous the whole time. That's the thing. But he wasn't at all. No. He felt great about the whole
was
procedure.
jacked.
She was watching the Food Network over his shoulder. So that's what ended up happening. So that was gross. Anyway, he said, those 2 games really knocked me back to where I was at the end of last season. I feel good now, and I feel like I'd like to feel good for a lot longer, he says here. Problem is he does not feel good for too much longer.
No.
Let's talk about what happens to old Mike here. Now, he's coaches now because that was 2009. He coaches for the next 3 years. He's a coach on the team, and everybody says he's a really good coach
For the Wranglers.
The young players really like him because this is basically, they're all young players. So you're not coaching. You're coaching to win, but you're also coaching to, enhance a young player's game and help them come along in their career. So this is the type of league where they have young players and has-beens. You're either 36 or 20 in this league. So they all like him. He's good with the younger players because he was a player. He knows what to do. He knows how to talk. He just, and I think he always says that he instills in the younger players that they need to savor this and how basically what he said about himself, where he should have taken more time to take in the NHL and all of that, and just tells them to savor the whole thing and enjoy themselves. And so decent coach to have until July 5th, 2012. When he turns himself into police after being wanted. We'll find out in a second here. He turns himself into police at the Clark County Detention Center in Vegas, facing, this is a rough one here, 2 counts of lewdness with a child under the age of 14, 1 count of sexual assault with a minor under the age of 14, 4 counts of sexual assault with a minor under the age of 16, and 2 counts of open or gross lewdness, which might be the greatest charge I've ever heard in there. They had all those charges, and they're like, let's just call him gross, too. Throw gross on. He's fucking gross. Look, dude, he's fucking gross. Just put gross on. I don't care.
What are we charged with? All the gross ones.
Just gross. It's just he's in the. It's just a whole pocket of gross is what he's got going on there. It's a gross one.
What the fuck happened?
Yes. So 2 counts of lewdness with a minor under 14, 1 count of sexual assault. It's 9 counts total, and they're all for fucking a kid. All for fucking someone under the age of 14, which is not okay.
No.
In any case.
Anywhere.
Somehow he is freed on $75,000 bail.
What?
Now, if you have 9 counts and the word gross is in them, I feel like your bail should be higher. I'm just saying.
It should be
super high.
You should not be able to afford it.
Because there's kids everywhere. Like, they're all over the place.
They're literally
you can just
in every
go
place.
Anywhere. You go to the grocery store, there's fucking kids all over the place. I shouldn't have said it like that. In his mind, there is.
Oh, my God.
But that was not on purpose.
Right.
So instead, they let him out, grossness and all. He's walking around all fucking gross on the streets, which is goddamn fucking disgusting here. $75,000 bail, all sorts of lewdness. What? Now, he's a public figure in Vegas. He's like known in the community. He does all sorts of stuff,
He's the coach.
Goes to mall openings and shit like that. Everybody kind of knows who he is. There's not a lot of sports in Vegas, so the minor league and the college teams are a thing there.
That's all you got.
What the hell do you do now? You've been charged with 9 counts of being fucking gross.
Oh, boy.
I mean, I don't even know. Where would you even go for anything? Would you hole up in your house? I mean,
I don't know.
He did that for a while, and then finally he's like, I can't do this anymore. And he was hungry one day for lunch. And he found a place that smelled delicious. And he walked in the door, and the bell rang, and it was the shawarma man. And he said, how is it you've come to arrive here? Why are you here? You're gross. I hear all things. You're gross. No gross in my plate. I no make for you. No. What you want, lamb? I make. No, I no make for you. No. You understand? No. I can deal with people come in, the cocaine. I say, maybe you have a little bit for shawarma. Maybe it happened, I say, maybe you come out, you have guns. I don't know where you grow up. Where I grow up, I have gun too. I understand. Things happen, But you, under 14, why you do that? Why? I don't understand. Why? No, you go now. You go. Sign say closed. You go. Sign say closed. Out now. I no make for you. No lamb for you.
Even my lamb is over 14.
All lamb. I know No, you, of course you want lamb because it's young. No, you out. Sign say closed. Out. And he gets his saber and he comes at him. Like, Jesus. That's it for McBain at that point. He knows. He got the idea.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Even a lunch he couldn't have. He was chased away by the shawarma man with his giant shawarma knife.
So tell me how this happened.
Okay, this is disgusting. He had a preliminary court hearing scheduled, but then it was continued for like a month later. It's like, no, let's sort this.
Yeah.
Let's sort this all out.
Take your gross ass out of my courtroom.
This is fucking disturbing, okay? His lawyer, Bob Draskovich, hair turned immediately bright silver as soon as he took this case. He says that his client hopes to avoid trial to spare his family and the victim any more hurt. He says, quote, he's seeking to resolve this case and has no interest in putting his family through the crucible of a prosecution. That's what he said. Now, he's a good guy now. He's going to throw himself on the fire, to save his family, the embarrassment, obviously. The Las Vegas Wranglers needed a statement. This is not very silver on this one. They actually were like, fuck this guy. They said gross. We're not going to associate with him anymore, right? We're not going to say we're going to let the process play out and all that. No. They said, quote, we are saddened to hear about today's news. Our thoughts and prayers to go out to the family and friends of the victim in this matter, and we hope for a swift and decisive resolution.
There's only one victim with all these charges?
Yes, one victim. And what they basically said is he's fucking gross.
Yeah.
We've decided it. And we're done with this asshole. As soon as we heard those charges, we don't care if it's true, not. No.
A homeless hockey team is calling you gross.
Gross. We have nowhere to play, and it's still better than whatever you're doing because you're gross, sir. Sir, you are gross. Dexter Manley comes into the shop. Hey, you're letting him in here? He is white trash, but he's also gross. He's two different things: white trash and gross. Totally gross. So, his grossness, let's find out what it was. Well, if it's not bad enough, and it is fucking bad enough that he is doing all this with a child under the age of 14, let's find out who that child is.
Oh, no.
It is his stepdaughter.
Of course.
His fucking
man.
stepdaughter, it comes out that this is who it is, which is scary. And I won't name her in all this in case her name's not really out there a lot.
Good.
It's very kind of very, so I'm not going to talk. Maybe she kind of wants to be more private about it, so that's on her.
I don't blame her.
I don't blame her either. This guy's a complete asshole. Apparently, this happened over the course of almost 4 years.
Oh, Jesus.
For 4 years, Jimmy. From the time, this is fucking disgusting, from the time she was 12 to 16. Ruined this kid's. That's her where she's supposed to be maturing and just coming of age in her own way and
becoming a person,
becoming a person and not being corrupted by an adult asshole like this. Apparently it started when she was 12. This is how much of a kid she was. She was sleeping in bed with her mother and him in between, in the middle, like a kid does, like a little kid does who had a nightmare. And that's when it started. He apparently began touching her inappropriately, and then it escalates from there, obviously, once he feels emboldened enough to do whatever, then gets away with that, and it's like any other fucking sick asshole. But this isn't the only thing he did, okay? This would be all bad enough. This is all a normal...
Yeah, that's all jailable.
This is all jailable, and this is all not... I don't want to say normal, but this happens. Stepdad, and this is a stereotype, is what this is. But the problem is, not only was he, having sex with his 13-year-old stepdaughter and 12-year-old stepdaughter for years, but while he's coach of the team, I don't even know what kind of a fucking mind thinks about this sort of shit. He notices, and he found out from his stepdaughter, through whatever, that she had a crush on one of the Wranglers players, because they're like 20.
Oh my God.
Teenage girls have crushes, or teenage boys have crushes, or teenage kids have crushes on people who are slightly older. So this is a guy named Jason Krischuk, just a Wranglers player that's there. He has no idea what's going on. What McBain does, what this fucking monstrous lunatic does, he creates a false email address pretending to be Jason Krischuk. A false email address, and contacts his stepdaughter through this false email address and pretends to be this player that she has a crush on.
Yeah.
This is fucked up, okay? Think about this. He's in the same house with her doing this, and she's like, oh, wow, this is great. Insane. So what he did was he emailed and texted all sorts of dick pics to her, claiming to be Jason.
And they're his?
Or whoever's. I don't know where. You can get a dick pic anywhere. You pick it off the internet, or who the hell knows where. But he was, I don't know if it was the same dick he sent consistently, or if he was different, inconsistent.
Big ones, little ones.
Yeah, I don't know.
All different shades.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't know if he had a good script supervisor for that to keep continuity on his dick pics, but this is sick shit, man.
Continuity on his dick pics. That is the grossest words together.
Yeah, and then it's fucking disgusting, man. And then also talked her into talking about, like, basically pretending to be Jason, the other player, and talking her into talking about sexual things she did with Mike, but not mentioning Mike,
right?
Basically, so like her sexual,
Oh.
having her talk about it with what he thinks is another guy,
right?
And got all sorts of nude pictures of her, and all sorts of shit like that.
He catfished his stepdaughter.
He catfished his own fucking step while he was already raping her.
Right.
That's the thing. He was already raping her. He's already having sex with her, and now he's got to also. It's like it's not bad enough that he's doing that and dominating her physically in the house and fucking with her head and doing all this, but then he's gonna fucking in the one thing she thinks that she's gotten out of, and at least is something outside of that. It's even all him. What if, I mean, Jesus Christ, this fucking poor girl, I must just not, how do you come back from that?
How do you do that?
This is insane, man. This is fucking crazy. He gave her as much as $400. He would pay her for nude pictures. He'd be like, come on, send nude pictures. I'll give you money. And she would do it because she's 15 and she had a crush on this guy who she thought, and she was like, oh, must like me and he's going to give me money. That's pretty cool. This is fucking nuts, man. And then she would send the nude pictures of herself to the fake email address that he created, and then he would have them, and this is fucking disgusting. He's just trying to dominate her on every level. The Chris Chuck guy said that he was never in contact with the girl, never had a conversation with her ever, had no idea this was going on. Didn't know she had a crush on him.
Horrible.
Didn't know shit. He was just playing hockey while this coach was going behind his back, pretending to be him. And this girl must have thought, wow, this guy's he's making me send him pictures for money. Like, she must have thought, like, wow, he's not what I thought he was.
Right.
And like, it's fucking horrible, man. So yeah, he's impersonating a guy that he's coaching. What are you doing?
Horrible.
Wow. Yeah. He says, Chris Chuck says, quote, that he, quote, believes his friend Mike may have pretended to be him to talk to a young girl. And he said that he had not and was never in a conversation with the girl. Yeah. It's his exact quote. There's a police report that, God damn it, I wish I could get my hands on, but I kind of don't wish I got my hands on it too, because it's kind of too much, because it's all detailed. It's all the things that they're going to charge him with. So it's detailed. Apparently this details just a lot of different sexual encounters all over the place, including taking her on a trip to Europe in 2010 and having sex with her over there in 2010 when she was 14 years old.
They could have done worse couldn't they do like crossing intercontinental sex trafficking?
That's what I'm saying. It's sex trafficking. I don't know. You can't bring a fucking 14-year-old across an ocean to fuck her. Like, that's not okay.
Sex. That's gross.
That's not okay. I mean, I assume,
maybe that's the gross part.
Yeah, that's all gross. That is pretty gross. All of this is gross. What has he done that's not gross so far?
But why is it? How does he go from
everything's
playing
gross
in the NHL to coaching
and this
kid fucking?
And this never came up. That's the other thing too. It's not like, oh yeah, once it came out, there wasn't people going, yeah, he was always kind of winking at the young girls in the stands or anything like that. Never came up. Like when we talked about everybody else, Sweetan, and we talked about
Mel Hall.
Buck Zumhoff and Mel Hall. There, every one of them, everybody was like, yeah, they always kind of dug the young girls, and everybody kind of thought it was a little weird, but we were all like, yeah, I guess he's fine. But this is just like, he is Mr. Upstanding fella. He is the coach of the team, a nice suit on all the time, and he's got his family and his kids, and his brother played there, and his family, and everything is fucking on the up and up, and he's so, He's so fucking whatever.
I live with my brother. I'm the built-in babysitter.
I'm the
that
built-in
creepy shit.
That's why I have that. That's why that's in that story. Otherwise,
so creepy.
what the hell do you care if he's babysitting his brother's kids? Except for the fact that his brother left his fucking kids with this guy, and who knows what the fuck happened.
Horrible.
And if I'm Jason, when this came out, that's the first thing I'm doing is I'm going to that goddamn jail and I'm going to grab him by the fucking collar and say, "Listen, motherfucker,
I better not find out."
Yeah, well, you better tell me now, because if I hear it from one of them, I am going to have you stabbed in here.
Yeah.
I will pay a guy to stab you in here. Hard.
I don't care if we're homeless, too.
Don't give a fuck. You're getting stabbed. Fuck that. So, yeah, anyway, this is insane. Yes, I would hire someone to do that if they...
I think I might, too.
Molested, especially if my brother molested my kid.
For sure.
That's worse than a stranger. You get it harder at that point. So, this girl here, the victim, she tells police that she held back from telling her mother what had happened because she thought it would hurt her mother greatly. As of course it would hurt her mother greatly that she brought a monster into the house that's molesting her fucking daughter. Yeah. That's why it would hurt her if she's a good mother or any kind of mother. She planned to keep the abuse secret until she could leave home when she turned 18. Okay. So she was going to keep it all bottled up until she could get out of the house and it didn't matter anymore, basically, and then be like, by the way, Mike's been fucking me, and then have a good one.
Bye.
Bye. Going off to college now. You two deal with that, because I've dealt with it for like 6 years now. So your problem now, Ma. Sorry. So what McBain does once he finds this out that he's been told on, because eventually the girl tells her mother, she gets super pissed. Mike finds out he's pissed. This is before he turns himself in. Yeah. This is what leads to the turning himself in. He flees to Oregon, where his brother has moved. Okay. His brother's moved to Oregon. He flees to Oregon. I don't know. If I'm his brother, I'm like, you ain't coming to my fucking house.
Don't you step foot on my porch.
My 4 kids. Get the hell out of here. Mike ends up trying to kill himself. Yeah. He takes what they call in the medical report an excessive amount of pills and tries to kill himself after this whole thing, which seems like he went to go say goodbye to his brother, is what it seems like he did. He doesn't work, obviously, because the guy doesn't do well in the NHL. He's not good at suicide either. We're trying to find a talent at this point right now for this guy. Catfishing seems to be what he's good at.
Seems to be good at convincing people of lying, just mischievous lying.
Yeah, I would say so. So,
God, Jesus,
just a fucking liar. So apparently, the reason he fled is the mother confronted him about it, and he said, "No, I don't know what you're talking about," and then was gone the next day in the next state. Tries to kill himself. He's in the hospital. The victim's mother, his wife, I assume to be future ex-wife pretty soon, she visits him in the hospital to talk to him because she wants to know what the fuck is going on. So she plays this very, very well here. They had a bunch of conversations, and she like caressed it out of him, basically. She was like, just talk to me and, all that shit. And he came out with it and said that he sexually abused the daughter, and then that he was emailing and texting her, and then all that shit. He spilled the beans, which... Wow, I don't know how she didn't fucking kill him in his hospital bed. Yeah, nearest sharp implement. Right. Then he wrote a sorry letter to her. Oh. He wrote an apology letter to
the girl?
To the girl.
Oh, my God.
To the fucking girl, which obviously the police took because that's pretty good evidence of admitting to everything there, in addition to the photos that are emailed of dicks and everything else here. Writes a sorry letter along with an email exchange with the victim's mother, where he, in writing, goes back and forth with her detailing exactly what happened. So he just absolutely incriminated the shit out of himself here to write a sorry letter. Once you do that, you're done there. Then it's at that point, finally, after this, so he's in the hospital recovering. This is when he talks to the mother several times, his wife there, writes a letter to the kid, and then the mother leaves, goes back to Las Vegas, and several email exchanges about the whole thing. And that's when it goes to the cops. A police report is made, and he's a wanted man. So he returns. He hires an attorney, and he turns himself in on July 5th of that year.
There's no running from this.
There's no running from it. You can't get away from this. No. You're fucked. It's totally fucked. Yeah, you have every bit of evidence against you, and anywhere you go, you are target. No one feels bad for you.
No, God, no. And
you molested your stepdaughter. Fuck you.
Fucking monster.
It's insane. So he retains an attorney, turns himself in, and that's that. So September 22nd, he's in court. September of 2012, he's in court. This is before his next court date is scheduled. He had the preliminary hearing, then he's got a court date scheduled in October. He makes a deal. He's got to make a deal. Yeah. He can face 40 years for this.
Holy shit.
That's the 40 fucking years he's looking at. 40 years hard time for molesting your stepdaughter.
That's awesome.
Is a lot. Yeah. And he's going to be, that's not going to be pleasant time for him, I have a feeling. So he ends up pleading guilty, finally, gives it up in Clark County District Court to a reduced felony charges. I don't even know why they do it. I get that you want to save money, but with this guy, I'd be like,
slam dunk.
You know what? No, we're going to get you on every single fucking charge that we have because you wrote letters and emails, and let's get this girl up there and see what the fuck she says and see how this jury reacts to it, because I have a feeling they're going to feel bad for her.
You, sir, are gross.
And you are fucking gross. Yeah, I hope they let's find out if they kept the gross one in here, because that's the only one that really matters.
That's the stinger.
And make sure you tell him he's gross.
Yeah.
Everyone needs to know. He pleads guilty to reduced felony charges of attempted sexual assault. No, he didn't attempt to sexually assault her. He continuously raped her for 4 years. That's not attempted. Attempted lewdness with a child. That's what they plea him down to, which, fuck that.
It's not even gross.
That's not even gross. They just basically said, you tried to do something that wasn't even gross. That's not enough, I don't think, to really hammer home the point of what the fuck happened here.
Oh, boy.
His lawyer, Robert Draskovich, tells the Las Vegas Review-Journal, which did great work on this, by the way. The Las Vegas Review-Journal did all sorts of, they really got up and down this whole case. So they were the main source of information for this whole thing, was their writing. They detailed it and they kept it. Like I said, there wasn't a lot of sports there in 2012, no professional sports. So they're trying to find something. So this was his attorney said that he agreed to plead guilty before the trial because he was remorseful and didn't want to cause the girl and her family any more pain or embarrassment. Not because I could get 40 years and be branded gross for the rest of my fucking life. That's not why. Horseshit. So he faces 2 to 40 years in prison. 2 to 40. 2 to 40.
So that means his maximum is 40, and then he's going to be up for parole every couple of years, probably. But he has to do 2 at least.
This is that's what he could be sentenced to. Anywhere.
That's not even the sentence.
No, that's what he faces. Anywhere from 2 to 40 years. This is a lot of discretion based on circumstance, and anywhere from 2 to 40, which is
too big of a window.
That's a huge window. Yeah. That's like you're going to do like 13 months, or you're going to do 26 years. Oof. Like, that's a big difference in time.
It's like a cable company sentence. That's ridiculous.
That's crazy. And they also, after that, he will be on lifetime supervision as a sex offender, according to the terms of his plea agreement. He'll always have to register. He'll always have to check in. Yep. He'll always have to go, hey, how you doing, pedophile over here? Hey, keep your kids in your house. I'll fuck them. How you doing? Nice to meet you. Hey, your kids. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to call them cute. Fucking terrible. So during the sentencing hearing, his lawyer, Mike's lawyer, Robert Draskovich, hair silver as can be, looking like Christopher Lloyd from Back to the Future.
Fuck yeah.
He asked that his client be sentenced to the minimum 2 to 8 years in prison.
Gross.
He said that McBain, since this is amazing. This, to get up in a court of, I get that you have to, and this is our system is based on advocates from both sides, but to get, for a human being, like on a logistical level, to get in a room full of other adults, many of which have college degrees, and the judge went to law school, and there's lawyers everywhere, and say that, quote, since first confronted with the allegations, he's accepted responsibility and asked to negotiate the case so the victim wouldn't have to go through a trial. He has to get up there and say that since first, because he fucked that girl for 4 years. Right. She didn't accept shit then. But since it all, since he was going to be arrested and put in jail for 40 years, he's come around to the fact that maybe he's fucked up. What are you kidding me, man? Jesus Christ.
He's had a real internal struggle the past few days. He's really gone through enough, I think.
The last 4 years, he was cruising, just on cruise control. the girl on the other, she was a mess. But wow. But now he's excited, and also too, he's a fucking saint. He the only reason he wants to take a deal is so to save this poor girl any more
trauma,
any more embarrassment or anything of a trial, because he's such a good guy.
Right.
Which he is. That's not the ballsiest thing this lawyer says in this whole process.
He cares about the kids.
He cares, Jimmy. That's the problem. He cares too much. He's like OJ. He loved Nicole too much. He cared too much, Jimmy. That's the only problem.
This is terrible.
This is fucking awful. So he also wrote apology letters to the victim here and the victim's parents in accordance to the court thing,
right.
to show what a good guy he is, not beforehand. Also, he's enrolled in sex offense counseling before sentencing. Wow. You think? Your stepdaughter. You need some kind of something. I don't give a shit. Then in open court in front of people
what did he
with
say?
College degrees and robes on and people who took off work to be there that day to be on the jury for like $12 or whatever they pay you. He says, quote, Mr. McBain is a very good man who did a very bad thing.
Holy shit.
Whoa. Wow. How silver can your hair be? That could be that silver-haired middle-aged white man's statement of the year right there. I'm going to mark it down right now for a scummy. Mr. McBain is a very good man who did a very bad thing. Makes Robert Draskevich the 2018 Scummy Award winner for silver-haired middle-aged white man of the fucking year.
How do you...
Holy balls.
There's never been a really good man who has fucked a kid. I'll say that. I'll go ahead and say that with great enthusiasm.
Because that's not a mistake.
No.
That's a character flaw.
Yeah.
That's not a mistake. That's not something that's like, oh man, I had too many drinks last night and I was fucking 0.09
right.
and they busted that. That's a mistake
right.
that I can see happening. It's not smart, but obviously this is a character flaw.
Yeah.
For you to actively look at a 12-year-old girl and be like, I'm going to fuck her. I'm sorry. You can't redeem that.
You're terrible in every way.
I'm going to do this in the same bed where her mother's sleeping.
Ugh.
That's how fucking ballsy I am. She could literally just shake her mother and go, he's touching me right now.
Right.
And this whole fucking ruse is blown. And instead, that's how fucking disgusting and gross I am.
Wow.
Very, very gross here. The prosecutor, on the other hand, suggested a sentence of 5 to 15 years in prison, which I still think isn't enough. Ask for more. Ask for 30 and see if you get 15.
Aim high.
Aim high.
Them talk you down.
This guy here, Mark Shifalaqua. Wow, that's a fucked up name.
Fuck it.
Shifalaqua. Mark Shifalaqua is the prosecutor. He says, quote, quite simply, what happened here was horrible. The victim's never going to get over this. The scars of sexual abuse will not heal for her for the rest of her life. I would say not, especially not this particular kind. Yeah. Not a one-time incident. No, this is a very trusted individual. It's not only in your home, it's in your bed.
Right.
Fuck. That's how trusted they are. Insane, man. So
this isn't like Elizabeth Smart where they took her out of her house into the woods and raped her.
And it's like, wow, if you're scared of strangers or whatever, but you can trust your family and you want to. This is
that takes her for ice cream.
Your mother can't protect you.
Right.
You're touching your mother. You're in the same bed with your mother, and she still couldn't protect you from this fucking monster. And it's not the mother's fault, obviously. I'm sure if the mother knew about it, she would have said, stop touching my fucking daughter, because the second she heard about it, she was on it.
Good.
I mean, there's no
delay.
There was no delay. The daughter told her. She went right to this motherfucker and was like, what did you do to my kid?
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about. Oregon, suicide attempt, all that shit.
Hospital.
Police report, turned himself in.
Apology.
They didn't fuck around. Yeah. That's the whole thing in a nutshell here. Now, the district court judge, David Barker, McBain tells him when he gets to speak for himself, he says, first of all, that I'll respect whatever sentence that you hand down. No shit, you will.
You will.
I love when they say that. Like you have a choice.
Right.
Like you have a choice. I'm not going to do what you say. Oh, you're not? Really? That guy with a gun is going to drag you away, literally in shackles. That's what's going to happen.
Say the phrase "remand
You're fucked.
Defendant into custody," and from there it doesn't matter.
You're done. Yeah, it doesn't matter what you want. They'll carry you. Yeah, it doesn't matter. So he says, McBain here. This is what he says in court. Quote, I'm more sorry than words can describe. I take full responsibility for what I did, which doesn't cut it.
So gross.
Also, I'm very gross. Did I mention I'm a gross monster? Because that's really the key here.
I take
Super
responsibility for being gross.
Yeah. Do you know how gross I am? Your Honor, I'm sorry than words can describe for my complete grossness. It's fucking gross. I know I'm gross. Everyone tells me I'm gross.
More gross than words can describe. That's what the phrase should have been.
Yeah, I'm more gross. I take full responsibility for my utter grossness and what my grossness caused me to do. So the judge, the state officials that do the pre-sentencing recommendation sentencing things, they recommended a 2 to 8 year sentence for him, which is less than the prosecutors asked for. That's basically what the defense asked for. So the judge, first of all, when he's sentencing him, he goes over the good things that he accomplished in his life, and that his community, he was a community member and all this type of shit. And then he goes on to say that his community that he did so many nice things for was now marred by his abuse of a innocent girl from the time she was 12. You, sir, may fuck off. 4 to 15 years in prison. So a minimum of 4, max of 15 years in prison.
That's not enough.
Which is not enough.
No.
Not really great. And he's a registered sex offender and submits to lifetime supervision, obviously. The girl's mother and father, they declined comment outside the courtroom. And from what everybody said, they did not seem happy. Because no matter what, this is not going to be a happy day.
No.
It's just not.
No.
And,
they're obviously split up. They're not together.
No,
and that's going to cause so much turmoil in their lives.
It's going to cause turmoil and everything.
For
and
years to come.
This is a mess for everybody. And I think they wanted more time, obviously. And who the fuck wouldn't? You want maximum if someone is doing that to your kid for 4 years. Good Christ. And I mean, you can't get any more innocent as victims than all of this. Her family, everybody, the girl, the mother. I feel bad for them. I feel bad for all these people, Jimmy. I really do, but not nearly as bad as I feel for Mike McBain, president at Senior Counsel Inc. in the greater Atlanta area. It's management consulting. Mike McBain, a seasonal farm worker at MCM Inc. in Grand Forks, North Dakota.
I'll bet that's the kid I went to high school with.
His education is listed as, quote, Dakota Prairie. Not Dakota Prairie Community College, just
not Dakota
the Prairie
High School.
I learned out on the prairie. Also, Mike McBain, a professor at the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee, which there's a lot of hockey there, so you don't want to be associated with that.
That's scary.
Speaking of a lot of hockey there, how about Mike McBain, who is a police officer and also plays junior hockey in Anchorage, Alaska, and his name is Mike McBain.
Oh, that poor bastard.
And he's like, so if you search Mike McBain hockey, he comes up there also. He's just going, please don't think I got out of jail and moved to Alaska and I molested my kid. I'm a cop, for Christ's sake. I swear I didn't molest anybody. I hate child molesters. Jeez, I beat the shit out of them when I catch them with my nightstick. I tase them extra hard. I get them good. Please. He's begging. I swear.
The one thing I'm hard on, child molesters. I'm super hard on them.
What's my middle name? How terrible is it? Can I get away with using that? This is bad. And finally, because it's around kids, Mike McBain, who's the associate director of bands and director of percussion at Lee's Summit High School in Missouri. That's terrible. He earned his Bachelor of Music Education degree from Northwest Missouri State. He's a Master of Arts in Percussion Performance, and he was on the snare line for the Kansas City Chiefs Rumble Drum Line
that's awesome.
during the 2009 season. So you've seen him perform watching Chiefs Bronco games.
That's amazing.
You've seen him, and he did not molest any children that we know of. He's never been convicted of molesting anybody. He's a nice kid who fucking teaches kids to drum. Good for you, buddy. Thank you. Fuck, man. Oh, Jesus. Now, McBain is in the Lovelock Correctional Facility in Nevada. He's at a
place called
Lovelock, which sounds like you got locked up for your love, mister, for your love of young girls. That's where he's housed, or he was. We'll find out if he's still in there. He's prisoner number 1098269, in case you want to drop a line to him. He's such a good guy here. Now, September 19th, 2016, McBain, guess who's up for parole?
No.
Our buddy's up for parole.
He
Remember,
2 years in.
4 to 15 years. He's been in for over 3 years now.
No
He's been in for 4 with time, sir. Almost 4, 3.5 years. He is up for parole, and drum roll, denied.
All right.
Fucking denied. And from what I've seen, he has no other parole hearings on the books that I've seen. I found this in their parole hearing log of the state of Nevada, which was a dig.
That's
Let's just say it was a gross dig. I had to dig pretty hard. It was gross.
I would rather mine zinc.
Yeah, I was pretty much doing that. I think I have lupus now. I'm pretty sure this gave me lupus to dig through the rolls of parole hearings, but that's the only one I could find for him. So there's no stories of him being released, and in Vegas, there's a bunch of writers around there, especially for the Las Vegas Review Journal there, that would most definitely write a story if he got released because they thought he was an asshole after this.
Good.
And they all just hated his guts. He's fucking his stepdaughter.
Yeah.
It's gross. I was going to say it's disgusting, but we all know it's not disgusting. It's gross. Parole denied. Eat dick, sir. You may spend more time in the Lovelock Correctional Facility. Can't get enough of Mike McBain.
Oh, I think we've had
an ass full of this guy. No pun intended. You can get a Mike McBain hockey card if you're a complete idiot. They have a 2004-2005 Las Vegas Wranglers Mike McBain hockey card, $3.
That is steep.
That's steep. Plus $4 shipping. So $7 for a minor league hockey card. Only 3 left. Order soon. You get it from Center Ice Collectibles.
Do we want one of those?
I kind of.
In a way.
As long
we
as
have
it's
not signed and he didn't touch it.
I don't want him to touch it. I don't. There was signed stuff that I don't want.
No.
That's on eBay. That's why I didn't put that on.
I want nothing that he touched.
There's a ton of hockey cards. Minor league hockey makes cards, so there's tons of hockey cards to get on there. Kind of want one. We have Mel Hall stuff. We have stuff like that. I mean, I've not bought the Buck Zumhoff T-shirt. I will not buy that. No. But a hockey card just to say this guy sucks might be okay. I'm not sure.
Would it be funny to wear a Buck Zumhoff shirt?
I don't know. That's what I tried to decide. I've had it in my cart like 3 times. And I'm like, but I don't want to wear a child molester's face on my shirt. I don't like this guy. But then it's like, but I made fun of him. Right. I think my credentials on not liking Zumhoff are pretty well documented for 2 hours of me calling him an asshole.
But what's the chances you're out in public wearing that and somebody goes, do you know what he did?
No one, that's the thing. No one's going to know unless we're in Minneapolis or something. No one's going to fucking know what he did. No one knows who he is. So maybe I'll get one and it's just funny for us. I'll wear it to a live show.
Maybe we hang it here.
Maybe we
never wear it.
Maybe I'll never let it touch my skin. Probably. That'd probably be best for everybody. But I don't know. That is Mike McBain and a piece of shit. And I've been looking at this story for a long time and I'm like, well, he only did one thing, but it's so horrific. We kind of had to talk about him and bring it up.
That's crazy.
It's crazy.
His whole career without even being arrested for DUI.
Nothing. He was fine. Nice. Everyone said, what a good guy. Yeah. He's a model kid. He needs to coach to help the young guys. He's such a good model. And then not such a great dad.
Yeah.
No.
Except for that disqualifier with children.
Great babysitter.
Gross.
Jesus Christ. So this is quite disgusting. But we had to get Mike McBain out of the way. And it's a shorter one, which we kind of needed to get in because of all the travel we have this week. We didn't really have time for a 3-hour episode tonight. And boy, do we have some doozies coming up. I got to tell you guys
Can't
too.
Wait.
We have some famous people. We have some people that people will be interested in. Put it this way. In the next few months, we're going to do Tanya Harding, which is a lot of fun. Yeah. If you think Nancy Kerrigan, the clubbing is the only thing that happened, you are in for a fucking a festival of white trashery like you've never seen before.
My kind of lady.
Awesome. Yeah, she's going to be fun. We have the wrestler Scott Hall coming up, who is a fucking lunatic. And if you think you know all about him, you probably don't. Although if you're like a big wrestling fan, you watch shoot interviews and shit, and you probably know about him. But we'll tell you more, and it'll be hilarious. We've only got
one more Crime in Sports for 2018 because we're going to take a break.
We are taking a break for 1 week.
One fucking week.
Because Christmas Day is a Tuesday. Right. So none of you are going to listen on Christmas. You have shit to do with your families. Don't listen to us. Hang out with your families on Christmas Day. We're going to do that. And Christmas Eve, I have a big giant party at my house, and I'm not recording a fucking episode of this. I'm just not doing it. So sorry. Fuck off. Enjoy that. So we're
He's
taking a
not
week
lying.
off. I ain't lying. We're taking a week off, and then after that, we'll be switching networks also. Nothing will change for you, except I don't know if new episodes won't be released on the Podcast One app. If you listen on the Podcast One app, you'll have to switch to something else. We'll be on Midroll.
Spotify.
We'll be on Midroll. Go to Spotify.
Go to
do something
Apple
like that. Or
Podcasts.
if you've got an iPhone, Apple Podcasts. If you have not an iPhone, Spotify's a good place to go.
We're on Stitcher.
Yeah, we're on Stitcher, wherever you want to be. Also, thank you for Small Town Murder. Small note here to Discover Pods.
Yes.
Discover Pods. We won Best True Crime Podcast.
Yeah.
With
out of all of them,
Small Town Murder. And there was all the heavyweights were there, all the heavy hitters, all the
Case File,
really famous
right.
ones, and Slow Burn, and really, really good shows on that list. And we were really happy. Thank you guys, and that feels really cool.
And congrats to Swindler being named right under us.
Yeah.
Good for you
and
guys.
then putting out a funny tweet about it too.
Yeah.
That was good stuff, dude. Good shit. So that's really awesome. So if you like the show and you want to tell us all about it, and you want to tell us what a piece of garbage Mike McBain is, you can do that very easily by going over to Apple Podcasts, iTunes, whatever it is, the purple icon. Give us 5 stars. Doesn't matter at all what you say.
Right.
Tell us you're following instructions, following directions. It does not matter one bit. We're happy with whatever you say. It's not for our egos.
No,
it's
it's
just
not.
for business. That being said, also you want to go over to shutupandgivememurder.com
Right.
and get all of your merchandise, your crime and sports gear, your leggings. Ladies, there's damn leggings. Guys, layer up on the leggings. They'll look like sweatpants from what we figured out before from Jimmy. So do that on there. All sorts of stuff. Get tickets to live shows.
Yes.
This week we're going to be in Boston on December 13th, December 14th in Chicago, the 15th in Detroit, and the 16th in Silver Spring, Maryland. Get your tickets now. I don't know if Silver Spring is sold out.
All of them are close.
It might be. I'm not sure. But the other ones are in huge venues. I don't know where they are on tickets, but I know there's enough where we're going to have a big show. So
I don't know. I'll walk into a Great Lake.
it's going to have
sold out.
Yeah,
so
it's
I'll
going
see you guys there.
to have a good time there. So can't wait to see everybody there with us freezing our asses off and shivering. Also, you can follow us over on social media at Crime and Sports on Twitter and Facebook, at Small Town Murder on Instagram. We post both our shit there. We just call it that because it's more popular. Sorry, that's not our doing,
Tends
but
to
it
work
just
out.
is. It just is. If you want to be a big friend to the show, in addition to following us on social media, very easy to do that by following links on shutupandgivememurder.com that take you to patreon.com/crime and sports, or over to PayPal, where you can use our email address, which is crimeandsports@gmail.com, to make a one-time donation. And speaking of these wonderful people who've made donations and helped us out so goddamn much, and we love so much, why don't you hit me with them like a gross charge, Jimmy?
This week's executive producers are Jennifer Gross, Catherine Polus, Anastasia Middleton, Laura Blakesley ×2. She donated twice. And
Wow.
something was going
Thank
on with
you.
her this week. I don't remember what, but you know what? Never mind. I think she's going to make it to the show. She was going back and forth about going to a show. Hope to see you there, Laura.
Definitely.
She's
Thank you.
going to make it to a show. I don't know if she did or not. We'll see.
Come see us,
We'll
damn
see
it.
her.
Thank you.
Margie Kunze again. Thank you so much. Mary
Always, thank
No,
you.
Matt Kleeman, Lonnie Hall, she donated twice also.
Wow, thank you.
Craig
That's
Ventura,
amazing.
he's back. Thanks, Craig.
Thanks, Craig.
Michelle Hayes, Shannon Russell, and Christopher Dobransky. That's right. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you, guys. You guys
Regina
are awesome.
Regina Kuda. Already, right out of the gate.
Regina
Kudajarov.
There you go.
Kudajarov.
All right, that's not bad.
Martina Liwalonga.
Oh,
Yes,
she's the best.
great.
Thanks, Martina.
Ashley Vio, Brendan Abels, Jesse Hartman, Jordan Neverez, Sarah Reichert, Valerie Anderson, Nicholas Sanders, Carissa Wilson, Temry Iverson, Nicole Renard, Georgiana Whiteley. Georgiana
Whitley?
Yep. Martina Kunkel, Heath Belowich? No, Deloach. That's it.
Deloach.
It's not a B, it's a D. Deloach.
Aha.
Cindy Oakes, Heather Cotton, Stephen Rude, Cody Neuenfeld, Kat Power, and Lauren Demarath. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you, guys.
Paitila's OK Welding. It's just okay. It's not great, but it's
they're
fine.
decent.
Yeah, they're getting
You
through
need
it.
something to stay on. It'll stay.
They're learning.
Nothing fancy, but it'll stay.
Andrea Samples, Justin Miller, Tyler Atkinson, Shalima Altos, Kelly Latta, Blaze Patterson. He donated twice. Thank you, Blaze. That's a cowboy name.
Thank you. That's
Blaze.
a damn
I like
good
that.
name. Yeah.
Taylor Cadwallader. Gary Howard, Melissa Schmaltz, 30 Roses. I don't know what that is. Google it. Catherine Beal, Tanya Hayden, Under the Sea Fabrics, Jordan Bennett, the Lino Lakes. Is it Lino? Is it Lino? What is it?
It's definitely Lino.
It's Lino Lakes.
It's absolutely. If there's one thing in the world I know.
Fund. That's what that is.
Hilarious.
Matt Dietrich.
Sorry, Matt Dietrich. I didn't mean to step on your name.
Kyle Juarez, Lillian Frink, Jen Stevens, Bryant Toole, Rosanna Wagner, Cody Beretta, Janae Compton. I wrote these really small. Charlene Rambler, John Starks. I don't think it's the same John Starks.
Fuck yeah.
I want it to be the same John Starks.
So do I. Love John Starks.
Renee Kyle.
Effort-giving son of a bitch right there.
Preston Letterman, Shauna with no last name, Gina Jones, Rachel Stonecipher, Brianna Seeley, Haley McGivern, Brandon Piper, Michelle Williams Gilbert. I don't know why I stuttered on the easiest three names ever. Andrew Dugan, Captain Surly, Jessica Seidel, Lauren Odom, Taryn McNee, Janice Hill, Joey Leshnak, Nicole Vaughn, Neil Threets, Nikhil for Neil, really?
Yeah, no, that's...
I don't know what I'm doing. Tara Bendick.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Don Hanson, Jana Dickens, Jana Wellhouse. How do we have two Janas? That was impressive.
Thank you, Jana Society.
Donating right next to each other. Joshua Conley, Tristan Stevenson, Simon Oxley, Melissa Sewell, Stephen McTeague, Annette Wright, Leanne Edwards, Brendan Healy, Jared Dobbs, Johanna Rosas, and then Johanna Rosas. Anyway, and then Javon. This is my favorite.
Johanna, is it?
Yeah, it is Johanna Rosas.
Yeah, I knew a girl
That's
named
right.
Johanna once.
And then Javon Senga, who is Manja's son.
Hey,
he
donates in his
with his dad, and he pulled
that's amazing.
£2 out of his own money and gave to his dad and told him, give this to those nice boys in America.
That's incredible.
Thank you, Sanja or Sanga family. I don't know.
Thank you, Manj.
He told me that we pronounce it wrong every time.
We always say Sanja.
Yeah.
So we're probably wrong.
His family's fucking amazing.
You guys
and I love
rock.
you, man.
We really
Thank
like
you
you
so much, you guys. You're fantastic.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. We really appreciate it. We can't do any of this without your help, and we really appreciate. Like our computer went down recently here, and we missed a week of Small Town Murder. We had to do 2 this last week to make up for it because our computer died, and we were able to quickly replace this computer with a much better computer that will not die because you guys donate money to us. So thank you,
heroes, truly.
Thank you guys so much for that. Every cent counts, and we appreciate the shit out of everything you do. And what if people appreciate the shit out of everything you do, Jimmy? How can they tell you all about it?
You can find me at Wisman Sucks, WHISMAN Sucks on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. And you guys sending me everything that you send me. It's a treat. It's a blessing. It's wonderful.
It's not gross.
It's not gross. I really appreciate the funny things you guys send me and the accidental sexting that's been sent to me.
Oh, that was funny.
That was meant for
somebody else.
Boyfriend.
At least you got an explanation. Oops, sorry.
Hysterical. Thank you guys so much
funny.
for everything. I really appreciate it. Where can they accidentally sext you?
You can stumble onto me at Jimmy P is funny, or just copy and paste my last name from the show description because you're not going to spell it right. Why would you? It's very difficult, and there's no reason for you to spell it that way. But we will see you next week. Obviously, we'll be back, and that is one more week of 2018 shows.
Yep.
We're off on Christmas, and then we come back for the new year strong, and we're going to come back with a heavy hitter. We're going to come back with somebody quite famous in the new year.
Good.
Somebody you've heard of, and it'll be a good time. We're going to do all of that, guys. We're having a blast.
Yeah.
This is great. Live from the Crime and Sports Studios. We will see you next week.
Bye.
If you like crime and sports, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
He was hip-hop's biggest mogul, the man who redefined fame, fortune, and the music industry.
The first male rapper to be honored on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, Sean Diddy Combs.
Diddy built an empire and lived a life most people only dream about.
Everybody know ain't no party like a Diddy party, so.
Yeah, that's what's up.
But just as quickly as his empire rose, it came crashing down.
Today I'm announcing the unsealing of a 3-count indictment, charging Sean Combs with racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, interstate transportation for prostitution.
I was up and I hit rock bottom, but I made no excuses. I'm disgusted. I'm so sorry.
Until you're wearing an orange jumpsuit, it's not real. Now it's real.
From his meteoric rise to his shocking fall from grace, from law and crime, this is the rise and fall of Diddy. Listen to the rise and fall of Diddy exclusively with Wondery Plus